even know if you're serious. Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me sing. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me sing. And I don't even know if you're serious. Oh, you don't even know if you're serious. And I don't even know if you're serious. Oh, you don't even know if you're serious. Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me see. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me see. Let me see.
People kill, people die, and children hurt, and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach, or would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, and some guidance from above. 'Cause people got me questioning, where is the love? The love, the love. Where is the love, the love, the love? The love, the love. Where is the love, the love, the love?
There we go. Welcome everybody here to the TG Diamond League live here on Connecting Esports on twitch.tv/Connecting Esports. And as always, when it comes to the Diamond League, this is gonna be PogChamp because today we got something exciting, and it's not the teams actually, but it's actually we have webcams on stream. How cool is that? But yeah, thanks already for tuning in, 34 people. I see you in the chat. And with that being said, wait, they already got me. They already said muted, and we are not muted. Stop lying to me.
Yeah, you saw the scenes.
Ah. got
Just soft
distracted.
screens before you start talking, but
Yeah.
you know, it doesn't really matter. Now people finally know the face behind the voice.
Exactly. Well, the guy talking right now is Dermot, of course, one of our lovely casts, has been with us since the start, I think, actually, and Aria, who has been recently added to our casting staff and has proven herself worthy of being here again. So good luck and welcome to both of you.
Thank you, thank you.
Always a pleasure being here for you guys.
Okay, Andy's already taking his leave. I hate you, Andy, don't worry. But yeah, this is fun. I haven't streamed in so long that I actually forgot how a webcam is, and now I have OCD about my cameras and my hair, but don't worry about it, because we're going to hop into a very exciting game today. We're going to have, actually, in 30 seconds, they're going to get DQ'd. Let me just find out what's going on. And as soon as we have that ready, we can actually talk a bit about the teams. So maybe, Dermot and Aria, I know you did your homework on these guys. So it's ELG Sports.
Wow.
Well, besides one guy,
100%.
obviously, who got last second subbed in because the jungler couldn't make it. So ELG versus Wash Esports. What can you tell us about these teams? Like, maybe let's have a look at the groups first before we go into depth about their lineup.
Good idea. Let's get the groups page up.
Yeah,
Because that'd be a good
If,
page to have open right now.
my transition could work. There we go, it finally worked. Okay, so current standings, as you can see, Wash Esports here versus Tornado Kamikaze Pilots, CE Frost, and of course, sorry, what am I saying? Wash Esports in the lead with the Tornado Kamikaze Pilots here and CE Frost, that's what I was going for, are tied for first place right now. Obviously, they still have a few games to be played before this tie can be resolved. And then Wife Beaters United, well, the meme team, memeing it until the last second, and also Team Positive Win Rate actually on 0 points, so very unfortunate. And ELG kind of the same, but they still have a lot of games to be played. And today is one crucial game, because if they make it against Wash Esports, that means they can still make it to playoffs, and therefore very defining game of this Group C, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Group C. So back to you, boys and girls. What do you think of today's lineup? Tell me about the players. What have you scouted so far?
I mean, I've seen Rush before, because I came in late last, well, it was semi-finals last season. So I've seen this roster a little bit before. Obviously, we've got a different top laner from last season. I've seen chat already hyping up Slayer loads. So actually, some really exciting stuff to come from Rash Esports. One thing that I actually am looking out for is Sarcasm in the mid lane, because I saw the Katarina pick last week. I think it's last week? It's been a week already. Yeah, but saw the Katarina pick from Sarcasm last week, and anyone that knows me knows that I love the Katarina pick. So if you're out there, Sarcasm, you know what to do.
Yeah. I'm just checking out a few things in the background, because a few teams can't. One team has an issue with one player. You guys can continue with what you have been doing. Sorry about that.
Yeah, just talking about some champions. Of course, we are playing on the new patch. It's 10.18 since yesterday. Today, I've heard a couple of complaints about, for some reason, some champions icons in game when you get a shutdown or a kill being just white blocks, or just being whited out, not necessarily showing a champion. So a lot of complaints from players that quit the game for like a day. Obviously did have the time to fix it, and if I'm correct, they did fix it. So that's something we have going for us. And then talking about the patch itself, there's of course a lot of things to go over, since there are a decent amount of champion buffs and nerfs, both aimed at competitive play and of course the more elo-wise things that we're playing at. So yeah, Yora, maybe you can talk us through it a little bit as the play-by-play caster that we have.
I mean, I can certainly give it a try. I mean, of course, I've literally got the patch notes right open in front of me, and we got to start off. It makes me sad that we have no big Ari players, but we did see some big Ari changes this patch, actually. Obviously, shuffling around her Q and W passives and all of that. But I think the big one that we're going to see at least the most effect from is these Ashe changes. We talked about this a little bit before we went live. So if anyone doesn't know, Ashe's base AD goes down from 61 to 59, which doesn't sound like a whole lot. But Dominic, you were talking before what was the Caitlyn change? It was 5 move speed,
two
wasn't
base
it?
AD and 5 movement speed,
Two
which they
base
also
AD.
reverted.
Yeah, and that changed Caitlyn from,
Mediocre.
to top tier. So on the face of it, this 2 AD base AD drop doesn't seem big, but I'm keeping my eye out for it, especially considering from I know especially from Russia, I know Highlander's been playing a lot of Ash recently. Obviously getting his practice in on that. So whether we'll see that today is something else. Did any changes stand out to you, in relation to these teams? I'm just scrolling through, having a look for any more.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily toward the champions that have been played, but if you're looking at meta compositions, for instance, there's the Jarvan buff and the Galio nerf. Galio, of course, a really oppressive mid laner for the past couple of patches, really strong into a lot of matchups, and just the fact that he can roam fairly easily with the help of his ultimate heroic entrance. It's just a really... It's a staple pick in this meta, just because of the roaming potential and the fairly safe early game he has. So they took a little bit of his power away by reducing his Q damage by 10 flat in the Winds of War. But then again, Jarvan got a buff that added 10 damage on his Dragon Strike. So if you're drafting Galio Jarvan, the teamfight presence should still be the same, because the damage they took away from the Galio did get added for Jarvan. For the rest of the champions, maybe Kokma is a champion that we will not be seeing today because of his base stats that have been decreased. Maybe Rumble we will see in combination with a Jarvan, because the combination of Cataclysm and the Flame Spitter is a really huge one, if you also combine it with, of course, the Equalizer. Set maybe we'll see a little bit less, since Set, of course, has been played as a tank champion mostly, dealing still an awful lot of damage. And then the last champion that we probably should go over that has been a staple pick in this meta, it's probably Shen top lane. His early game got buffed a couple of times in a row because Shen doesn't really have an ultimate with a lot of impact on laning phase. So dueling champions like a Renekton, for instance, can be really difficult if you have no ult at level 6. So they buffed his passive, maybe a little bit too much, so they reduced the shielding part by 10 for this patch. Maybe his laning phase is a little bit less oppressive right now, but it's probably not the biggest change. If anything, it's probably the Guardian change that with the most impact this patch.
Yeah, so Guardian has gone down from a 0.25 AP scaling plus your bonus plus 0.12 bonus health to 0.15 AP scaling and 0.9 bonus health. So 0.1 AP down and 0.03 health. That was some slow maths. So yeah, we're going to be seeing maybe less Guardian pickups considering these nerfs. Yeah, I'll be really interested to see how these go up. Where is that? Still not quite ready with all players just yet.
Yeah, we're just waiting. So they're basically swapping out last second jungler. He's on the lineup right now, so we're just waiting on 2 more members to ready up, and then we can actually go into the game. So for the delay stream, obviously it's not up to us. The people that have to play need to be ready as well. So definitely looking forward to them being ready in a second here, so we can actually get into the action and see what they draft today, because that is where the excitement starts, in my opinion. And it also involves, of course, our famous betting system. Everything has been reset this season, so if you want to get on the very top 10 here, you gotta have a very good chance and also a very smart dedication of what they draft and tell us which draft is better. Now, Dermot, actually, you can maybe tell us a bit about something you do in the other leagues and tournaments. So you cast a lot of things, so maybe go in depth about that, because I personally think it's very interesting. Maybe chat enjoys it as well.
Yeah, I can talk a little bit about the other things I do, of course. I don't know if a lot of people know it, but my name, of course, Doormat, is Dutch. At least it's a Dutch reference to kind of being a doormat. Don't know where the name came from. It's just an old group of friends of me call it like that. And I'm doing a couple of tournaments in the Netherlands as well. And lately I've been busy with some charity tournaments. And the last tournament that we did was for a Valorant tournament with some of the bigger names in the Twitch scene in the Netherlands. And we managed to raise actually 3,700 and something euros for a good charity. It's called the Emma Kinderziekenhuis, which is a child hospital. And since we did manage to raise 3,700 euros over the span of 10 weeks, I think we should be very proud of ourselves. And I don't think that project has stopped yet, since we plan to keep on going also for other charities. And Valorant Season 2 is actually coming in as well. So that's what I've been up to with the last couple of weeks at the very least.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. And as I know, of course, Dermot is very Wait 1 second. We're editing the lineup on ready. So, okay, they're about to be ready. So yeah, Dermot's very engaged in this scene at all, and it's not just limited to League of Legends, as you just heard, Valorant as well. So we're actually looking forward to working with him in the future when it comes to our TG
Yay.
Valorant leagues that we offer, and as well as the weekend cups that we have. Can we just go draft? Yeah, I would love to go draft, Mr. here in the Twitch chat, but obviously it's not on us. If 5 people does win the season, will we finally get no Frisk, but I can send you a Snapchat later. Anyways,
Yikes.
we're editing the lineup pretty soon. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so far they went from 2 people being ready to 1 player being ready. So they have actually gone backwards. That is not so pleasant.
It's a good start to the day.
Yeah. Anyways, Ioria, maybe about you. What do you do in your free time besides obviously casting? We heard from Dermot. What is your?
Bold of you to assume that I do things in my free time. No, of course, this is not the only league I've been casting. I've been casting over at the ESDL league for some lower ranks, should we say. Gameplay. Yeah, it's been fun. We've been trying to set up our own tournament because it's been going a little bit messy. But that's all the stresses of that coming in the past week. Yeah.
And also Twitch chat here is asking us the very important questions. Can you talk about the meaning of life? And what was the number? Emma, do you
42.
remember? There we go, 42.
Yeah.
Now you know.
42 is the meaning of life.
There you go. Enemy team
Like
still
the
sleeping?
answer on
Yes.
everything, it's 42. You can also ask Heimerdinger. Like Heimerdinger will say 42. I knew it. Now what was the question again? So it's just the answer.
Yeah.
How do you remember champion quotes?
By
he is a
playing
champion.
by playing this game for like 8 years, and then I don't know, still being washed up, really poor mechanically, just having a decent understanding of macro game, but just getting clapped in lane by people who are mechanically better than me. So yeah, unlucky.
Quickly checking, I just got the confirmation that the last player is finally ready. So
Hey.
we should, in theory, already up in just a second here on the website, and then we can finally head into the virtual draft, which I'm going to get ready for those guys, because looking at how slow they are, I think it's better if I get it prepared for them. So Watch Esports is going to start on the left side, meaning the blue side, therefore having the first pick, while ELG Sports is obviously starting then on the red side, on the right side, with the second pick and the third pick in their favor, and also getting the first ban on the second rotation of bans. So interesting to know that so far our blue side has above a 70% win share in our TG Diamond League over 6 seasons. Not sure if that is impactful today, as both of these teams are very well known in our TG Diamond League. They're very long-term competitors.
Yeah, I also think in leagues like LEC, it's been talked about a lot that blue side right now in this meta is a fairly important side to start on, because priority picks are just all over the place. Champions like Caitlyn, Ezreal, Ashe, Senna being picked up first most of the times. It's just so important to get that priority pick out of the way and then being able to counter the enemy, even though drafting-wise, you'd say that a red side draft is easier because you have 3 out of 5 counter picks. But apparently priority in this patch is just such a big thing that blue side overall has a better win rate for the past couple of weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they were saying it was, what was it, like 70 or 80% win rate for blue side right now in LEC?
Unless you're called Schalke, because Schalke actually won most of their matches on red side.
Schalke are the only team to sway that away from 100%. Don't quote me on that.
Schalke was the first team that got Ashe off a 100% loss streak in the LEC, or just win rate, like a 0% win rate in general, because LEC Ashe was just this big meme, 9 games, 0 wins, and then Schalke was like, okay, Neon, play it. And he was like, okay, I will. And there we go. Finally, a 24% win rate, thanks to Schalke.
Okay, only one player left. Malik is about to be ready. There we go, finally.
Hey.
And we can get into the lobby, everybody. Perfect. Now we're going to get right into the draft in just a second here. If you give us 1 second to get everybody in. And Dermot is already here. He's a fast boy. Do you have access?
I do not have the link. But
I'll give it to you in DM. There we go. Have fun with that.
Thank you. Oh, I've got that link, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm going to get you the drafting link as
Drafting
well.
draft,
I'll
yeah.
post it in the chat in just a second. Actually, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I found with this one.
So apparently there's some players from the Church of Annie in chat. I know that LS really likes the champion, but yeah, she's strong. Probably wouldn't recommend her for team play, but if you'd like to pick her up this route, we'll see.
There we
We
go.
can also talk about it. Do we Shilin, the Scion pick?
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about the Annie pick come through. From what I've been looking at both these mid laners, I mean, she's not exactly a hard pickup, but also I haven't really been seeing either mid lane be playing her too much recently. So I'd be surprised to see her come out, even if LS is praising her. So, you know.
LS is mostly praising champions like Annie and Ornn at one point when he was still like super viable. Because mechanically they're not really that hard to play. All you have to do is know your macro game well, and you probably win lane. And well, he's been kind of successful in lower platinum on the Korean server, so I guess that's fine with him.
Whatever gets him through.
It's called lower platinum in the Korean server for a reason.
Well, I'm pretty sure the Korean servers have, like, the skew is like different. So like platinum in Korea is, I don't actually know what it is, but it's like, so if you compare like the Korean plat to like the NA plat, the Korean plats are a lot better.
True.
If that's the point I'm trying to get across, but I don't know the ranks to like equal it.
There
I'd
we go.
say, for instance, that EU West Gold is probably the same kind of elo as Diamond on the Turkish server, but you know, I'd probably be offending a lot of players with that when I'm saying that. So
We'll see in a minute in chat. Or of course, David's plat in Korea is Master EUNE. Totally. EUNE is the region to look out for.
EUNE is also a fairly easy server.
Rush readied up, so we're just
Yeah.
waiting for ELG, and then we can actually start. Oh, look at that! We're actually into the ban phase. Only
Finally.
took us 22 minutes.
Oh, in there already? Okay.
Yeah, so we have a first ban of Shen going out onto ELG. So even with Shen getting the shield nerf coming through this patch, obviously Shen is still just such a powerful pick. With that Sand United, can't really go too wrong with it. So that's taken away from Nugan in the top lane for ELG.
Yeah, it's not necessarily just Stand United. It's just the champion as a whole. Even with the really small nerf to shield right now, he still has a really dominant laning phase because he's already getting his power that he got buffed in the past couple of patches pre-6, because his Stand United doesn't have that much impact in laning phase. If he has to go up against a champion like a Renekton, like we said before, or maybe an Aatrox, the level 6 can be quite difficult. So if you give him some power before that, that's the way how Riot did take a look at it at first. Bans from ELG are a little bit slower. When you see the bans from Rush coming out quite instantly, so Graves and Ken already off the board.
Yeah, so it looks like Russia really targeting Nugan in this top lane, taking away both his Shen, which is we talked about, is Shen, and Kennen, which is his most played champion this season in ranked. So obviously they're targeting towards this top side, looking to get Slayer a good matchup in this top lane. As I said, ELG taking a little bit longer. Maybe you don't quite have quite a sounder plan as Rush do, taking away Shady's Graves for that first ban.
Yeah, you are going to need a lot of counter picks to the champions that are going to be picked up by Rush with their priority pick. And since there's still a Caitlyn on the board, that might be proving difficult, because Caitlyn right now in the meta is kind of a must pick. So we probably won't see Rush banning it, unless they feel like there's another priority pick that has even more priority over the Caitlyn. Then you should ban it right now. Cannon, of course, getting banned because team fighting is going to be really difficult with that champion on your team. And if it's already in one of the most played champions from your enemy top laner, then you probably want it out of the way either way. And in ELG Sports, also banning away the Lulu, since, there's a lot of counterplay to abilities like Polymorph. It's just an obnoxious champion on its own, because there's so much peeling coming out from that champion on the bot lane, on like hyper carries. Kog'Maw is a little bit weaker right now, but since they did buff Twitch, there's also the possibility of that champion coming out. And now Rush instantly reacting with Ashe, ELG with Caitlyn, so also two of the meta AD carry picks out of the way, and now we're just waiting for Rush to go with their priority pick.
Yeah, with both Ashe and Caitlyn out of the way, I actually, I'm quite happy that they're both out of picking order, because I wanted to see a game where we didn't just have Ashe Caitlyn Caitlyn Ash or Caitlyn plus other AD character. We have two actually, not Caitlyn Ashes. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But
then again, looking back at the Fnatic vs G2 best of 5 series, every matchup was Ashe versus Senna. So Senna's still open, decent pickup. Rush, of course, went with the Hecarim because they've seen Gallius play on it, and the champion is just really strong right now. And ELG looking to offer the Senna right now. If they lock it in, it's not really that big of a surprise because we just went over it, like Ashe versus Senna everywhere. So Senna, one of the last meta ADCs that are left over in this champion select.
yeah. Was the ELG taking that Senna, hovering the Gragas, actually locking in that Gragas. Honestly, I mean, I don't know how I feel about the Gragas this early on.
If they feel like it is a counter pick into the Hecarim, I totally get why they do it. So this is something that's really surprising me because Rush is now drafting the Sona Lux combination on the bot lane. People say it's still really strong. Of course, both champions have received a nerf last patch already, and right now it's also Guardian that has received a really, really big nerf for AP champions because it's, if I'm correct,
AP less.
Yeah, but like 10% AP going back from down from 35% to 25% is an awful lot for most Enchantress champions. So I think this will have a lot of impact on how this lane is going to be working out because this lane is based on the fact that you have Guardian in combination with Lux Shield and of course the shield coming out from Sona not getting any form of damage. And then the VLG is going to be responding with the Blitzcrank pick, whose ultimate, by the way, deletes shields. You can have quite of a rough time in this matchup.
Yeah, so I mean, since we watched last week, we know Rush did actually pick their Sona Lux in game 1. Can't remember who that was against though. I think that was against WBU. But yeah, so this is like Rush have played before, but I really do like the Blitz pick into it, as you said, deletes the shields, solves a hell of a lot of the problems for ELG. Second bank phase coming through, ELG looking to take away that Aurelia from Slayer. Rush with the speedy bands again, targeting Nugan in the top lane. I like the priority that they're giving Slayer here.
Yeah, because right now we see the Aurelia and the Gangplank ban already coming out. Gangplank, of course, one of the hardest scaling top lane champions, if it's not for kill, since she also got a small buff, small rework this patch that gives her a maybe less reliable laning phase, but the late game is just getting stronger and stronger for that champion. And then Aurelia being banned out by ELG Sports because they kind of don't want to hyper carry into their face when it's getting peeled by champions like Lux Sona. Being shielded by them, being peeled, of course, by a Hecarim with a massive, massive fear, unstoppable onslaught that's going to be really obnoxious to play against, and now also getting rid of the Yasuo, which is actually a surprise to me because Yasuo Gragas is still, I think, a really viable combination if you run that jungle Gragas in combination with Yasuo mid. But for some reason, they don't feel like picking it up, and they don't want to give the opportunity to their opponents to pick it up either. So there's still Yone that's open. Kind of fulfills the same gap, a little bit of a different champion in comparison to Yasuo, but he can still do the 1v9 shenanigans solo carry thingies. And then Remington now, yeah.
the Aurelia and Yasuo ban were actually definitely targeted towards Sarcasm. So 250 games in Aurelia, was it 175 in Yasuo this season? So actually targeting towards Sarcasm, looking to get Masks a just better matchup in this mid lane, just taking away things that they don't want to see. I know it's about the Gragas Yasuo being a great combo, but at the same time, whilst Marks does play it, maybe it's like that he doesn't want to see Sarcasm pick up instead.
I'd say Yone should still be a viable option for Rush to pick up because Yone is not really that different from Yasuo, maybe a little bit less mobility, but the kit kind of feels the same when it comes to the hyper carry 1v9 potential, and being able to be peeled and shielded from the enemy team is or like just protected in general is what you need on those carry champions. For now, we see the Ornn pick coming out on the side of ELG Esports or ELG Sports. I wonder what they want to do with that because there's not a lot of Ornn items to be picked up in the early game for champions like Senna, Gragas, and Blitzcrank. And then I'd say Camille is a decent counter pick to Ornn, since Ornn is not taking a lot of damage in the early stages of the game, but when you're running Camille, you of course have the potential of chunking him down with true damage of your Q. And then the last pick that's going to be picked up by the side of Rush is going to be the Orianna that combos really well with champions like Camille and Hecarim whilst being peeled by their Sona and Lux. So right now we're just waiting on the mid lane pick from ELG Sports. Into an Orianna, you either want to go out scaling or you just want to go for that early stages, like the early game. And from what we're seeing now, it's a hover on the Corki.
That's actually log in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lock-in.
So this
So-
is the teams for today. And before Diamond goes into beautifully
Yeah.
analyzing these comms, I'll direct your attention to obviously our Twitch chat, because we have, as you can see now, a Twitch bet open. Posted by the Streamlabs bot here, so if you want to get some connectors, just bet on the blue on the left side, and we're about to get into the game here in just a second. The blue side is going to be the wash, so just do ! vote. No, that's the poll. ! bets, excuse me. And then blue side, if you're betting on the blue side, and then any amount between, I think, 25 and 1,000 is allowed. As we head into the champion selection, and the same for the red side, obviously, with the ! bet red, and then your amount. Now, with that being said, let's have a look at the champion selection here. Let's say bye to the beautiful
We're
faces of the
going
caster.
to, we're going to go really quick over some quick maths and see if we can do it that fast as we're saying. So, taking a look first at ELG Sports Draft, because I think this one is fairly interesting in my opinion. We see the on pickup on Red 4, which is a decent blind pick, of course, into the top lane. Champion did receive a couple of nerfs. It's not necessarily the super tank assassin at the same time anymore. You don't instantly get HP from the items that you're building, so that's also a great nerf that he has received. But my real question with this champion is, can you get the value that this champion brings, mostly with this passive, early enough that it's worth it? Since ELG Sports Draft right now is looking really late game. Corki, of course, is a champion that overall builds Mana Immune first, that has to evolve into Mirror Mana, also an item that cannot be upgraded by Ornn. Same thing kind of goes for the Senna. Senna overall builds Mana Immune that has to evolve into Mirror Mana, so there's no priority item on the Ornn item there either. And then with Corki, you probably want the evolved item to be either Trinity Fusion or Molten Edge, but that's also going to take a decent amount of time because you first need to finish, of course, the Mana Immune part. And then Senna overall, when she finishes the Mana Immune item, there's sometimes a lethality item in between, sometimes it's instantly into Rapid Fire Cannon, but it's also just the third or the fourth item that's going to be Infinity Edge that can be upgraded by Ornn. So I wonder how long it will take to get the value out of that passive when it comes to infinite scaling in a way. I don't know if you do agree on that part with me, Yoria.
Yeah, so it does feel a little bit off. I don't really know what other word to use, because we saw Rush did target all these bans towards ELG's top side, and Sanogan just took the L and said, okay, I'll play on and have the losing side top. And I feel like they didn't think this through in the sense that, as you talked about, yes, it's the Infinity Edge is going to be upgraded for Senna or Corki, which are going to be second, third item onwards, or Trinity Force, which is second item for Corki. But looking at things for Gragas or for Blitzcrank, is it really worth the pick?
Now, like, Gragas right now kind of has to force himself buying Rabadon second, which is not what you want in this scenario. Like, Gragas overall as a second item will go into either Protobelt or in Oblivion or more Anomalicon if it's really necessary, and then go for like third or fourth item, maybe Rabadons when you're ahead. And Senna also got pointed out into the chat that Senna can go for Wraithblade, but overall when you see the Mana Immune Senna build, they go from Mana Immune into Duskblade, and Duskblade doesn't really have an upgrade because the Wraithblade is an upgrade from Ghostblade. And Yuma's Ghostblade is a decent item, but it denies Senna the damage from the out of vision proc that you get from Duskblade, which is why she's so popular as an ADC. Because of when you have Duskblade in combination with Mana Immune and either Rapid Fire or whatever item else you'd like to pick up, you can kind of two-shot the enemy ADC, or in this scenario, the Sona or the Lux. And it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of value to be made right there. And then Corki kind of gets forced to upgrade in Trinity Fusion. But the upgrades of Trinity Fusion in comparison to Trinity Force are a lot of stats that you don't necessarily need upgraded. So if you want the upgrade from Infinity Edge into Molten Edge, that you get more base AD, which is fine on Corki because your AD gets transitioned into AP for 80% of your auto attacks anyway. So it kind of does work in a way, but you have to skip Trinity into the early game, or you need to be like 30 minutes in game before you receive the first upgrade, it just feels kind of scuffed and out of place. Maybe Ornn could have been replaced by something like a Maokai for this game, but they still went with the Ornn.
I actually quite like the Maokai considering the amount of magic damage we have coming out from the side of Rush, of course, with the Orianna, as well as the Sona Lux bot lane. But, I mean, we've said about how we're still a bit iffy about the comp of ELG overall. How do you feel about Rush as a total? You know, we've got
yeah,
obviously got the team fight potential with that Hecarim and the Orianna. Gotta love the Shockwave combo with the Crescendo from Sona. But
I'd say if Rush plays the early game correctly, they win every single game with this composition against their enemies. Because Camille overall beats Ornn in the early stage of the game. Hecarim has an easier time 1v1 in Gragas. It doesn't really matter if he goes Conqueror or Face Rush. Kind of does the same for him. Like, he will skill anyway until the point that he has the combination Cinderhulk and Trinity Force that he's a tanky assassin. Orianna does get outskilled by Corki, but it probably takes too long with the combination of champions the enemy has. Same thing goes for Sona Lux against Senna Blitzcrank. I'd say ELG has an opportunity to win this game if it goes past 35 to 40 minutes. Because right then, they just outskill in general. Like, Corki just skills really hard. Senna has infinite scaling, so they will outskill either way. But this game shouldn't be going longer than 25, 28 minutes looking at the comp of Rush, but they just have to execute it properly. If they don't, they just get punished into the late game for not executing their composition and just being plain out outskilled.
yeah, I mean, as you said, it's really Rush's game to lose here. As long as they play this early game right, it's going to be tough for ELG to
I trust in your dedication here and in your... This was well, okay. I like Twitch today. It's funny Twitch chat. I'm enjoying myself chatting with the boys and the girls out there. But yeah, I trust your analysis of this game, and I'm gonna vote on Red. Not only because of that, but also because nobody else has voted on the Red side. And now we went from 100% betting onto the blue side to an 88% on the blue side, and what is this? 11.11 actually percent betting on the Red side, which is me, I guess. So yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of monies if that shall happen. But let's find out if Wash is going to be as dominant as always, or if ELG actually has a chance in this game as we get into the loading screen. And this is maybe a good time to touch on summoner spells and, of course, key stones that they have in their wounds.
Yeah, so Jason is going to have his fingers crossed that Red side will outskill, and this game will go past that 40-minute mark, because Senna by then will probably have around like 200 souls and one-shotting every single person she sees, except for Hecarim, because that champion is plain out busted right now. Looking at the summoner spells, I mean, Keystones, yeah, both of them, of course. Not really a lot of interesting stuff. Sona and Lux are always played this way, so that's not really something that that surprises us as casters. Then there's Orianna and Corki. Well, also not really a surprise in there. Orianna taking the safe form of Face Rush in case that there's a really aggressive early game. Corki for the poke damage, just being able to sidestep everything if necessary. Hecarim with the Conqueror for the late game scaling. Maybe Face Rush would have been better, since you see a lot of challenger players in the LEC, like Gilius, play Face Rush right now, then just going Death Stance as a second item to do practically the same thing as Conqueror, just a little bit later into the game. It just gives you a better early game, but you do need to sustain a little bit more in the later stages. And then, well, what else do we have? Camille with Grasp the Undying has been meta for the past couple of weeks. Ornn with Grasp the Undying, because he knows that Camille wants to be trading in that early stage. Greg is going with the Electrocute instead of the Predator that we've seen most of the time. So maybe that's a little bit of an interesting thing. Of course, Predator did get a small rework at one point. Predator was the rune of choice, but you do get less movement speed right now, because Riot wanted more laners to pick it up instead of junglers, so kinda can get behind the thought of Electrocute, but maybe in a way ganking is still easier with the Belly Flop and Predator. Corki with Fleet Footwork for the sustain, because if he gets outpoked by an Orianna, he's not going to have a fun lane whilst farming, because that's what you want to do on a champion. And then last but not least, we have the Senna and Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank still opting to go for Guardian, just like the Lux, and Senna with the Glacial Augment, because you're going 80 carry Senna and not fasting.
Yeah, summed that up pretty well. We do come straight into this game with a pause.
I mean, this is the classic TG Diamond pause. Who knows it? Everybody. But yeah, with this being said, I'll direct your attention to the betting once more. Not only because I want you to bet, but also because I think the betting is closing in exactly 30 seconds. So get your bets in if you have one left, as the players are spawning just now into the fountain. And yeah, the betting is still 88% in favor of blue side, 11% in red onto the red side. So even if you just bet 25 connectors on red, you will get a huge amount if they win. But yeah, out of the base they go, and well, enjoy the casting here by Dermot and Ioria once more. We're going to cast today's game between Rush Esports and ELG Sports.
Yeah, so straight away we're seeing the side of ELG going straight through bot lane. But it's kind of like Rush already knows happening. They're
Yeah,
already
Rush,
prepared for the counter.
Rush is grouped over there in their bot side jungle as a stack because they do predict an invade with the help of a Blitzcrank.
Yeah, it's coming around through this bottom bush. Haven't been spotted out by either side. Of course, Rush will get their first spot coming out. They will spot Slim Tiger on that
there we
Blitzcrank
go.
straight away. Deciding not to act, get a nice double root coming out from Spot and Matt, getting root onto Blitzcrank. But looking really low, but already Shady taking huge amounts of damage. First blood going to be dropping straight over to ELG. The side Highlander caught out in the middle of Rush, but the flash coming out will not save him. And we do see that Rush falling apart at this level 1 with just support math on that Lux as the only survivor.
So first of all, I want to give my compliments to Yoria to, practically perfectly play-by-play an early game teamfight cluster that's normally not really doable by even professional casters. You can't really expect professional casters to instantly do it correctly with those early game clusters. And yeah, with this fight, we only see 2 kills actually going over to the side of Rush, 4 kills being picked up by the side of ELG, so the invade really worked out in their favor. A lot of summoners also being blown. Shady doesn't have Ghost anymore, Highlander doesn't have any summoners anymore, and support on Math doesn't have the summoner heal anymore. And on the other side, we only see summoners being blown on the bot side. We see the flash from Malik GG being gone, and Slim Tiger sitting there without an ignite. So they really did win this.
Yeah, Slim Tiger's not done, coming in for that level 2 in the mid lane. Sarcasm will just sidestep that hook away just fine. But I love the amount of pressure he's getting out just in this early game. And you knew Malik wanted that recall after getting that first blood with 3 assists. Knew that sitting 1v2 in that bot lane was not going to do anything for him. See if he can get Mask. A little bit of pressure in that lane. But yeah, an explosive start to this game. And
A
already
really explosive start, indeed. So right now, the jungle timers are going to go up. Like all camps are going to be respawning that have been taken right now by the respective junglers. Greg is going for a little bit of an unfamiliar clear, going for a slight.
full bottom side clear, and actually,
It's weird for an early game champion that's really reliant on ganking a lot on the early stage because his clear isn't really that well. And of course has the belly flop most of the time for that early game pressure to go for a full clear, but he's going for it. On the other side we see the Hackerim with a full clear as well. Did start at the blue buff. Sometimes these days we see Hackerim start Raptors, so it's not really that big of a chase, but we are going to be seeing a fight over topside Scuttle fairly soon, and it looks like it's going to be in favor of Shady because all of his side lanes have priority.
Yep, Sarcasm already stepping up, ready to just give vision and be there in case Shady needs it. But Nevermore, obviously, you talked about with that, just not quite as fast clear. It's actually going to turn up a lot later than Shady will be. And the Skullcrab's already gone. Actually, looking in the middle, Nevermore is looking to push Sarcasm. Sarcasm has no mana at the moment, but Shady is there, double buffs, ready to ram Nevermore. A huge amount of damage coming out, Flash Force from Nevermore. He will be getting away with the life. Sarcasm flashing, but using that dissonance without the command attack, the ball stays on top of him. He had a mini sombrero.
I feel like Sarcasm forgot that he had no mana, and he did have enough mana to go for the dissonance, but not to go for the command attack, so he just did it in place, and with that Nevermore can for now keep his HP bar. He is going to be losing out on both Rift
Flash forward
bubbles.
from some Tiger actually. Catching out support Math. Malik's doing a decent amount of damage, but of course Highlander is there to try and zone him off. Shady, of course, in this river bush, but Malik now looking in a rather his own grave, shall we say. As stepping forward without quite knowing where Shady was. Although interesting, because I would have expected ELG to know that after taking this top scuttle, that Shady would be pathing straight down for bottom as well. So for some Tiger to go for that flash engage felt a little bit,
Okay, so we are close to being 5 minutes in game, 7 kills already on the board, so it is a really fight heavy and really disorganized game for the level of play that we're used to right here in the in the Diamond series, the TJ Diamond series. Also, what happened on bot lane? Malik died there to Shady. I felt like Shady also kind of tunnel visioned on him because Malik was kind of dead already. All he needed was a couple more auto attacks from Highlander, and even support on Math could have helped him there with a couple of abilities. And then Shady went for Slim Tiger. They could have picked up 2 kills instead of 1. Still wanted to take the way of better safe than sorry. And with that, he does have the jungle advantage right now in the pocket. All I'm missing right now is a lot of deep vision, actually, on the side of Rush. Because when they start to establish more deep vision, and you can start tracking Nevermore, who is already really far behind in his jungle clear in comparison to Shady, you're just going to be controlling this game in the way that you'd like to, and be finishing the game around 28 minutes.
Yeah, as you said, oh, actually, see a root coming out to Highlander. He's going to leave him alone there. Actually, the call of the Fortune was using the top lane, just asserting that dominance over Slayer, hitting 6 first. Wanting to make sure Slayer stayed under that tower, giving him that time to get that reset off. In the meantime, we do see Shady slide right. Actually, never mind, we have a hook in the spot lane. Landed to Highlander, the barrier is used, and it looks like they're going to let him go.
Yeah, well, we are 6 minutes in game, so that meant that barrier was back up for about 60 seconds. But right
we're
now,
not
Highlander,
done.
yeah.
Shady finishing that dragon, but we do see Nevermore is in the bottom side, and nice bunny slam into spot Math, but actually going to be getting away safe with that power of the shields. All the teleports coming out. He's in 5-5 in the spot lane. A nice knock-up landing onto, but the shockwave is huge, and we have to see ELG just backing away from this tower as Rush taking that 3-0.
And this is what we were talking about when going over the draft, the early game of Rush being so much better drafted in comparison to the draft from ELG having to scale up. And all kills right now from ELG were from their early invade, and they've already been overtaken by the same amount just after that invade, because apparently this lead was not enough for them to secure their early game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting to have 2 5v5s by 7 minutes, but here we are. Malik, not gonna spot him out. Oh, no, let him go.
He actually placed the ward in the alcove over the bush. If only he placed it in the bush, he maybe could have spotted out support on map, but he's going to be getting away from that with just a little bit of a scare. And with the first dragon already being taken by Shady after that 10-man on the bot lane, we see the classic bot top change or swap around, so they can start contesting Herald, at least the first one.
Yep, so he's got 8-minute swap coming out from Rush. So let's see, actually, yeah, recall coming out from ELG, so yeah, see them pathing top lane, and you're going to be looking for a reset soon. So first dragon, we skipped over slightly. First dragon was an Infernal, our second pick is going to be a Cloud, so we're looking at either a Mountain or an Ocean Rift. How would you feel about these for either of ELG or Rush?
So Ocean, of course, works fine on both teams. Like, Ocean is still uncontested one of the best dragons in the dragon souls to have in the game. It just gives so much sustain, and it's like items like Executioners, Morel, and Nomicon, and Bramblefest don't really do a lot against it. I know that they're going to be reworking Grievous Wounds in the near future, but it doesn't really do an awful lot. Meanwhile, we see Highlander here being chased. Let's see if they can. Oh, he
lands! Nice knock up. If he's in the 3v1, and the root coming out from Malik will surely secure Highlands. If he flashes away, actually going to get away alive. A nice root coming out from support of Math. I can't believe he got away alive there.
Yeah, that's actually a big surprise to me as well. But he has to stay if he wants to help his team in contesting this Rift Herald.
Yeah, we do see no teleports available, so we're not going to see another 5v5 for this Herald. Thank God for my voice.
Oh, no.
We see another hook landing with the Shady. Is going to be using that speed to get away. Popping that. He's not the ghost, actually. Just a speedy Hecarim, but nice root from support Math. Actually turning around with the Onslaught Shadows. So nice ultimate from Shady into the root from Malik. Is actually going to hold him down, but a 1-for-1 trade at the moment. That's what Math are looking unfortunate position, but Shockwave will be flashed by Nevermore, keeping him alive there. I thought I was going to have like another 5 minutes before I had to do all this.
It's a big surprise to me that the counter engage from Rush didn't get in a little bit earlier, because the Hecarim actually has did have a 2-level advantage over the Gragas. The Gragas only got his level after the kill on Shady. So yeah, you'd say that they did have the advantage. And right now they are contesting it without the jungler.
They stopped Nevermore's recall with the root, and now just harassing him even more, but they are in the 3v3 at the moment. Obviously, with Slayer and Nugan coming from that top, and Portal Forge God is he's actually turned straight on to Slayer, using that Hexagon so much to get himself away, but a nice hook landing onto Shady. No ultimate available from this time. Will be ramming Nevermore straight into his own team. Huge amounts of damage coming out. Shady will be taking that kill, but a nice package from Mask will split the side of Rush in half, as Sarcasm and support are left to run back to the tower, and Shady and Slayer just holding this front line as best they can. A nice knockback from Shady will throw Mask back into the rest of Rush. And again, 3 for 1 for Rush. It feels like every time ELG take a fight, Rush somehow managed to turn it around and make it a win for them.
Yeah, I'd say that Slim Tiger maybe has to be a little more picky with the targets that he can get with that rocket grab, because right now getting the enemy front line into his backline is not the way to go. And if it's a Hecarim already 2 items in for that Trinity Force, having Conqueror being able to stack it so fast, it's not something you'd like to see. This Blitzcrank probably wants to hook something like the Orianna, like the Sona, like the Lux, but if you're hooking in either the Camille or the Hecarim, you're kind of making a death sentence for your team. There was like a really nice form of re-engage coming out from Marks and Knugen. Knugen with a really nice knockup and Marks coming in with a really huge package, but it wasn't enough from Shady already slicing and dicing through that backline of ELG Sports. Now also, of course, having picked up the Herald means that they can swap back their bot lane and top lane and start prioritizing for this Dragon that's about to be spawning in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, so Dragon will in 5 seconds. One thing I do want to pick up on is the fact that Shady, I believe if my memory serves me right, already has enough money for Triforce at 11 minutes into the game.
Yeah, 6-2 already.
Yeah, picked up that Triforce already, up so that recall will give ELG, well, should give ELG the pro on clearing that vision out in the rank pit, but nicely done by Sarcasm, Highlander, and Support Math to be there already first, setting up the vision on the map. Actually, if you look at the vision on the map, just overall, ELG barely have anything, just one more than topside river in the mid lane, compared to Rush having both rivers hugely dominant. But actually, Slayer going to be catching out Marks here, doing a nice amount of damage, but Hexblade Ultimatum will lock him down, and Mask, it feels like he's accepting his fate here, will be falling in that top lane. And Dragon looks like it will go straight over to Rush. Actually, Shady looking to push away Nevermore there, threatening him with that dash. So yeah, that's Dragon number 2, and it looks like we're going to be on a Mountain Rift.
Yeah, Malik, that's not a position where you want to be in. You're not respecting Sarcasm enough, and he does get the
Shockwave
shockwave
patches. Not a lot of damage coming out, but Shady is there to ram Malik down. And now Nugen in this 1v2 in the bottom lane. Actually just not doing a whole lot. Highland taking a lot of damage, obviously with the Sona having the low base up. A nice crescendo coming out into the laser from support on Matt. And it feels like Nugen just didn't expect that amount of damage to come out from the bot lane of Rush.
Yeah, there was some nice early game cheese with that invade coming out from ELG, but if there's something lacking right now towards Rush, it's respect, because looking at the positioning from all players, Mars not respecting the fact that Slayer can be over there really, really fast, then instantly gets the Hexagon of Death, the next level Baby Rage Cage.
Oh, but actually ultimate from Nevermore throws Highland into the tower. The tower shot will finish him off, and now teleport coming out from Nugen leaves support on Matt in the 4v1.
That's a
teleport
lollipop.
Feels wasted, but they do secure that kill on support on Matt with the shutdown gold of 400 gold. Going straight onto Malik. On sort of Shadows will be not catching onto Mask, but of course Shady having that dash with Slayer's follow-up as well. Just huge amounts of damage coming out from this pair on the top of Rush.
Well, I was talking about respect. Of course, this is a lack of respect from both sides. Highland and Sword on Math should have been fine with the objectives they already had taken. Should have known that they were overextending, and then when that teleport is coming in, you probably know that you're dead already. Then the same thing happened on the top side of the map, and they're still fighting. Because once again, respect is something
actually, never mind a hook in the bottom lane to catch on Sarcasm straight after the teleport. Malik landing that route, Shockwave will land, but it doesn't mean anything as Sarcasm's teleports to his own death, and now we see a teleport coming out from Slayer as well to try and trade this back. Malik flashing away, but Slayer will land that slow onto him with the root landing. But with the Hextech Ultimatum, Malik is very, very dead.
I don't know why everyone is taking team fight after team fight, or at least overextended fight after overextended fight. Right now, if you're playing at this level of play, you should know that whenever you take an objective, just take it safe, take the recall, invest your gold, and keep the tempo going. And right now, we've seen shutdown after shutdown just being given away to ELG Sports. Then they get caught again off guard, overextended because they didn't respect after the last pick-off they did that there can be a rotation incoming. It's still in favor of Rush at the end of the day.
Speaking of overextending, Highland getting by the hook, Nevermore is there with a nice flash body slam, and now Slayer left alone in the 1v3 as Marks comes into his bottom side river. But Slayer will trade the kill 1-for-1, actually. Huge amount of damage will take out Nevermore there, but donating that kill over to Marks in the mid lane. That shutdown gold of 450 gold, but Slayer actually managing to trade that makes it a 2-for-2 trade overall. Slim Tiger's not finished yet. Support will Matthew using that slow, but he still gets caught by that rocket grab. Shady is there with a nice ultimate into the laser from Spot Math and turns us around in the 2-for-0 for Rush.
Yeah, everything in the end is still going in favor of Rush. It's not looking too clean. It's still 20 against 11 at the very end of the day. It is a 5k gold lead on the side of Rush, but they could have been there 20-5, 20-4 if necessary, because of course the early game invade, they couldn't really do a lot against that, because it was just really well coordinated by their enemy team. They knew that their early game was slightly stronger, at least on the level 1 side, but around level 3 all lanes were going to be weaker. Sarcasm right now once again walking up and not respecting.
By that knockout from Nugan, I don't expect this to go too much further. We do see Highlander is in the vicinity. Actually, 4 members from ELG are on the top side of this map. The pack is going to be used to catch the Sarcasm, but he will shockwaving himself. Not a lot of damage coming out as just the Gatling gun from Mask will shred him down. And now it's just Highlander and Shady left alone. Support of Math getting away with the shield there. Dragon is sporting in 45 seconds.
Oh no.
But it looks like we're into another fight as Slayer just pops Malik. I feel like I'm watching an ARAM, I don't know about you.
Yeah, exactly the same. There's no way for me to analyze everything perfectly, because decision making is far to be found in this game. Everyone, it looks like it's just doing something, what they think is best and not necessarily what is best. Right now we also see the overextend from Slayer. There is a little bit of vision, but not enough to keep him 100% safe.
It does have the double dash, and that move speed from Slim Tiger will be wearing out. Shady looking to be safe there.
Okay, so he is safe enough in the end. He did establish a little bit of vision, and he did get the callouts from the teams that everyone was going to be rotating. Dragon now going to be spawning. Slight setup going to be made.
Root landing onto Slim Tiger. Oh, they decide to not go for it. Then we'll be clearing out a little bit of vision there. But Dragon started by Shady, Highlander, and Spot and Math in the meantime. And with the zone control of the Lux there, it looks like actually ELG pathing towards Baron, possibly looking to trade it instead, but with the amount of time they're taking, I feel like Rush can go straight to Baron after this and contest it.
Yeah,
Sarcasm's already there.
Yeah, it was the right call if it was made earlier, that you just trade Dragon for Baron for Herald in this scenario, because you were going to be late on the Dragon either way. But Sarcasm was standing in the mid lane, so he can try and steal it, and he does.
Actually stealing the Terrals, and then with the Shockwave into the Crescendo, we'll be picking up Nevermore as well. Cordial Forge God will be used to slow down Rush. I thought Krum was going to dodge into that binding there. Ultimate from Spot Math actually cancels Mark's recall, and now Shady is there with forcing the flash actually, but I don't think Shady's got anything of cooldown. He's just there to walk and look at him, really.
Greedy. Oh no.
But Malik will be ulting, actually finishing off Highlander as well. Hook just narrowly missing.
Yeah, there have been so many team fights already in just the span of 3 minutes.
I don't think the team fights are like, no, nice double route.
Yeah,
but the triple route returned.
This is one hell of a class ARAM fight. Kind of reminds me of NARAM, just the NALCS, how it works. Control Ward is going to get destroyed. So looking at the state of the map right now, it's 23 against 13. There's still an 8k gold lead going over to the side of Rush. So they are in the complete driver's seat. If anything, they are the winners of the Formula 1 right now, but they still have to retain their pole position if they want to end up first. Since they may have a 7-second lead, but if they crash that car into the barrier of the racing circuit, I don't really know how to say it in English, then you're going to crash your car and crash your game with it, going to be taken over. But they are in the driver's seat into the pole position really safely there.
I like the analogy.
No, it is fair. But the thing is, right now, there are no neutral objectives. So Baron is going to be spawning in 30 seconds. You can try and set that up. It's going to be taking 3 minutes before you can finally take that soul point. And while Mountain Dragon is not really that important, you can trade away for Baron if the enemy maybe goes for it. But you want to keep on the pressure. And right now, We see Camille is hovering bot side. We see a Lux solo mid. You really need that Sona if you don't want to get popped by something like a Gragas.
It's there. Ooh, looking for that pick. Nevermore, obviously spotting him out there as well.
They are finally doing it correctly. Like, Orianna is there for the pressure on top lane. The rest of the team is just hovering a little bit into the bot side enemy jungle. Maybe make a pick off. There's not really anything else to do right now anyway. Maybe open up the map through mid.
Herald is dropped top lane just to take that final Alta Tower. And it feels like we can finally chill out. It's taken 20 minutes and 36 kills. But ELG and Rush have realized that they're not in an ARAM. But this is in fact a tournament, believe it or not. But yeah, you see the Seraphs is now finished for Highlander, just finishing off those stacks. Now neither tier item is finished for Mask or Malik. So they haven't quite hit the damage spikes with the Manamine. So I'm really not sure what else to cover here. I mean, it feels like we're sitting in a bit of a lull state now, finally.
Yeah, what I'd like to see right now from the side of Rush is to bait out the contest on Baron, because Baron is completely free. The enemy has 0 objectives when it comes to towers. You have like all inner and outer turrets from your enemies, so it's really difficult for them to contest. And with Baron, you can start to siege the base. Oh, support math.
Just going for that deterrent, but actually getting caught by the center route. Ultimate coming through, and Simtai will flash into the silence. With the Ignite, it doesn't have poke or the knockup, so support math is free. Baron is secured by Rush and elsewhere. Going forward, the Hexo automation landing on Malik. The bot lane of ELG are gone without Nevermore and getting caught in this mid lane. Into the 4v2, Nevermore going to be walking into the jungle as they focus their attention on the Kunde. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we do see Shady mowing down Masks with that Hecarim. And Slayer obviously finishing out.
Yeah, they should be game. You don't even have to take the recall if you clean so many kills in the fight. Normally you'd like to recall after taking an objective, but right now if you're just mowing through the entire lineup from ELG, then taking this tower, taking the inhibitor, doing the same thing on top lane and then just running it down the Nexus shouldn't be the biggest of issues.
Okay, let me see mid inhib dropping as they rotate down to get this top tower as well. Of course, those Baron means this isn't going to be too tricky for Rush to do. Sarcasm is alone in the bottom lane. As the rest of his team resets, actually looking to just keep those Baron minions up. But I don't expect ELG to be pressuring onto this, capitalize on that mistake. Baron, the Baron Dragon is up now.
I'm going to do the prediction that I hate to do as a caster, but every team still does it because they are really afraid of throwing when they siege base with Baron for some reason. You have 2 inhibitors. You don't need the soul because you have Baron. You can siege the base, but if you're going to do Dragon right now, you do secure it. The soul, of course, when you were to throw in the enemy base for whatever
Shady's
reason.
going to hop over course and Tiger going to root Shady in, of course not the target he's looking for, but actually he's Onslaught Shadows to get himself away.
Oh
so
my god.
Huge damage to Nevermore. The Hourglass is popped now. Shady coming around and slamming Slim Tiger into the rest of the huge package. Actually will separate the rest of ELG away from Rush, and they would just melt Masks away. And now it's just Malik alive in the 4-for-1 even. But Malik surely going to drop here. There you go, 5-for-1. Super Minions already in ELG's base. This is almost certainly game 1 to Rush, unless they decide to AFK now.
I'm really happy that Rush didn't decide to go for the Dragon Soul right now and just throw in some extra BM. They do spot out that they have lethal, they can finish the Nexus.
Yeah, there's not much that ELG can do here. So there's Baron mate waves and all 5 members there. Game 1 goes to Rush Esports.
Like we predicted, if they were to finish the game before 35 minutes, they should be alright. This game should take anywhere between 25 to 28 minutes, even manage to do it even faster, 23 minutes and 48 seconds in the end. And yeah, really well played by them, even though it wasn't the cleanest of games, but you don't have to play entirely clean if you can take the win in the end. So I actually want to go over ELG's team composition one more time. I'd like to see ELG pick, with this composition, a strong mid laner, because right now they're throwing so much on scaling that you're just practically throwing away the entire early game throwing away the first 2 to 4 dragons if you can't get yourself on your feet, even though you only have the early game jungle. And whilst Corki can roam fairly decently, he doesn't really have that early game pressure that you'd like to have when you have a weak side top and a weak side bottom. So with this composition, you'd like to see something like a Galio, something like maybe even a Zed, even though that would make your composition really AD heavy. You can also go for something like an Aurelion Soul, even though that champion is really, really, unpopular. But a lot of champions with shove wave and start roaming potential are really well into these kind of compositions. We did see a couple of TPs into the bot lane at one point, but when you can do it by walking instead of having to force your own teleport, it's probably a bit easier and you can do it more often. So right now it's just ELG just saying, okay, we want to play the farming game, we want to make our enemies insecure with our early game level 1 play, and if we can just keep the game into a stalemate, into that state of fear from the enemies when we won the early game level 1, then we can just slightly work towards our own win condition, which is just farm, get our infinite scaling up, get our Ornn items. And Russia's team composition just said entirely no to that plan, so just please pick something strong in the early stage so you can at least contest a little bit in that early game and secure yourself that late game part, maybe a little bit less late game, but more consistently.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can. Yeah, sorry, but I just want to touch on. So the game's over, so this means, of course, the vote for the MVP is open, meaning the MVP of the Rush Esports lineup only, since we only do MVP votes for the winning team. So if you want to have a look at Twitch chat right now, you can give it your vote. Just do an exclamation mark vote and then either top, jungle, mid, AD carry, or support. If you're not sure about the spelling, just have a look at the message that streamers sent in Twitch chat. And yeah, another thing to point out here is obviously that. Looking at the damage numbers here, it's very clear that Hecarim did an insane amount of damage, was present all around the map, and I think this MVP poll, at least in my opinion, has to go towards Shady here on this beautiful Hecarim.
Have you seen Shady's items?
Yes, exactly. The Infinity Edge as well for the
he
ultimate
got an
BM.
Infinity Edge on Hecarim because he knew that if he's just fast enough and he just presses Ghost in combination with all of his spells, he could just one-shot someone with just E.
I mean, yeah, we kind of saw that, to be honest.
It's rather funny. Maybe a Stormraiser would be more consistent because you can stack it up really fast and also applies a slow. But like Infinity Edge just rolling the dice, having the 25% chance to do an insane amount of damage with the short dash. Just kind of fine in my opinion. I'd also say that this MVP should go to Shady, even though Slayer, of course, didn't do the worst of jobs, or well, maybe that's a really understatement because he did really well. Also was on the right spots at the right times. A lot of split push pressure coming out from that man that enabled the rest of his team to pick up objectives like that Baron, like a couple of dragons, just constantly keeping the enemy team on their toes. Where is Slayer? Where is Shady? And if one of them pops up, where is the other one? Because they can both really easily engage a fight and seal the deal for Rush.
I mean, yeah, we saw in that game just the power of the Slayer and Shady duo. Just, I think it was around the 15 to 20 minute mark, just both of them top lane, just this unstoppable force, leaving the rest of Rush to basically do as they please.
We're also not justifying the Infinity Edge, by the way. We are just saying that we're justifying BM. And well, if you're Shady in this scenario and he likes to BM his opponents by dealing more damage and being less of a Hecarim threat that we usually see, then he's allowed to do that.
Yeah, I think Twitch is just being the usual Twitch chat. For those who don't know the story
People
behind,
are salty. When,
I mean,
when
those
like,
who watch Shroud or Summit 1G know the story behind Twitch chat lately. But let's head over to our beautiful lounge chat because that gave us a lot of positive feedback. So while you guys both had a drink in your hand, don't worry, they didn't see that. But yeah, let's have a look at the vote here from the MVP, who's going to close in 20 seconds. And it looks right now to me that it's indeed for the jungle. So yeah, Shady getting that MVP of this game. Definitely deserved in my opinion. But I have to credit the whole team there because Sarcasm and Slayer were not anything short of doing an impactful TP at a lot of occasions actually, as well as Slayer just being on point with his, realizations of when he could go in and when he could absolutely demolish an enemy before there's even any backup to be seen. So yeah, with that being said, let's complete this vote here and the Twitch chat, and you can see That right now.
55% of the votes goes over
Exactly.
to jungle. Well deserved.
Yeah, with that being said, we shall head into the second game in just a second. Let me check if the players are ready. Otherwise, we'll give you a small break to catch something to drink and eat. Yeah, just Shio is missing, so support on Math here for the Rush Esports lineup has to ready up on Challenger mode. As soon as that has happened, we will be heading into the second game. So I'll give you guys exactly 2 minutes of a break, and we'll be right back with you in just a second.
People kill, people die, and children hurt, and you hear them crying. Can you practice what
Clown
you preach?
Fiesta.
Father, 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 help us, and some guidance from above. 'Cause people got me questioning, where is the love? The love, the love. Where is the love, the love, the love? The love, the love. Where is the love, the love, the love? People kill, people die, and children hurt, and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? Would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, and some guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mama. I think the whole world addicted to the drama. Only attracted to things that will bring you drama. The love, the love. Where is the love, the love, the love? The love, the love. Where is the love, the love, the People kill, people die, and children hurt, and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? Would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, and some guidance from above. People got me questioning, where is the love?
People kill, people dying. Can you practice what you preach? Father, 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 help us. People got me questioning, where is that love?
People kill, people die, and children hurt, and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach?
There we go. Welcome back, everybody, here to the TG Diamond League. And as you guys can see, not only are the casters back, but also do I need to update the score here, which I forgot completely. Sorry about that one. But yeah, so Rush Esports pulling ahead with 1-0 versus ELG Esports here. Looking forward to game number 2. Let's have a look at if the teams have readied up in the meantime and are indeed ready to rumble on the Rift once more. Maybe Aeon went out once more, because that was actually, I mean, not the best part about our TG Diamond League, but definitely still enjoyable to watch the level 1 invade, as well as afterwards the...
Yeah.
Felt like they
one
were
second.
definitely testing me. In that,
Yeah.
in that level, what was it, first 10 minutes? Definitely felt tested indeed.
Yeah, like looking back at the last game, I'm really hoping that next game it's going to be a little bit more controlled. It really felt like, not necessarily both teams, I felt it was mostly coming from the side of ELG, that they played really uncontrollably all over the map, really were just playing on just doing first and thinking later. So you kind of notice the same thing in the composition. Drafting full late game, not really having any options in the early stages. Not an awful lot of synergy between the champions that they drafted, because Blitzcrank really likes to play for that early game. Senna really likes to scale. Normally you also see either the jungle support synergy or the jungle mid lane synergy. Both of them weren't really there, because we didn't see an awful lot of roams coming out from the Blitzcrank. There wasn't really a lot of roaming potential coming out from the Corki with the Gragas either, because Corki once again needed to scale. And then there was just Orange sitting on top lane, just watching his team get destroyed. not even reaching the level of being able to upgrade any items. So there goes the value on that champion as well. I feel like the draft could have been better, and well, the execution hopefully goes with that.
Yeah, I mean, he did upgrade one of his own items. It's something. But yeah, I feel like a draft needs thinking over by ELG for game 2. I think execution needs thinking over by both teams for game 2, because we saw, I mean, mistakes from both sides. We saw Rush, every time they'd get, some sort of lead, someone had to get caught, or some way they needed to throw just a little bit of it away.
There is a difference between like small mistakes and big mistakes, and I'd say that most of the mistakes from Rush, they were there, but they had more of a backup system. Whenever someone got caught, there was an instant reaction from the rest of the team, and they just made up for it. If the Lux got caught, then there was a Hecarim just charging in and making up for the mistake. So there's team synergy was a little bit better. Of course, the decision making in game, the macro can be better, but in this scenario, they had the better composition. They had the better early game, even after the level 1 invade cheese. So they just were completely in control of that game, and I'm just really, really hoping once again that ELG in their next draft will make up for it by doing something completely different than this, because I'd say almost everything is better.
Yeah, we just need some sort of comp identity from ELG and just have it consistent. So if you want to play for early game, draft around it. If you want us to play flank later, draft around that. But make sure it's consistent around the board and not having, just like last game, it's just all over the place.
You can't get away with drafting full late game on carries right now, like we've seen in last draft. Because all their carries, both Senna and Corki, Senna probably needs 100 souls and a couple of items, and Corki needs his Manamune completed and also a couple of items with that. Whilst Orianna can dish a decent amount of damage with only Hextech GLP or Ludens, whatever you prefer. We did see, Luxona doesn't really care about early game. If anything, they'd like to play a stalemate because they just outskill anyway. They can be peeling in the later stage of the game. They both have a support item, so they already have the vision advantage. And I'd say ELG will probably ban either Sona or Lux in this first rotation, because I don't see them picking either of them up. So you instantly want to deny the combination to your opponents. Maybe also have a little bit of respect towards the Hecarim. I don't really know a lot about the champion pool of Shady, if he can play a lot more of these champions, but Hecarim right now as a champion, not necessarily as being executed by Shady, is a really strong champion. And then I'd say Rush probably doesn't need to do anything with their draft in the first place when it comes to the first couple of bans. Because they are targeting Nugan. I don't know if it's for a reason, because right now it looked like Slayer was better anyway, but maybe if he's on champions that he's really comfortable and he is the better player in the end, so maybe keep those bans the same. And you're playing red side right now, so you have all the counter opportunities that you need. So make use of them.
Yeah, actually one thing I did just pick up on as I was looking down at my notes actually, is I feel like what Rush drafted here is kind of their just go-to comp for this patch. As we saw last week when they played game one, they had Camille, Hecarim, they had Katarina mid, but then Sona Lux bot lane. So they had almost this identical comp in game 1 last week. And I feel like this is just practiced and rehearsed. And I hate to see it come out again where we just see Rush have, clean game 1 and then now people respect it when it comes to game 2. Okay, clean. I use clean.
I wasn't that clean.
They won.
Yes, they cleanly won in the end by not going for the dragon, but that was the only clean thing about that game, in my opinion.
If this game were to be a clean game, like last game we had how many kills in total? I think 50 something. If this were to be a clean game, then we'd see a maximum of 25 kills. That's 50% of the amount of kills that we've just seen.
There was 46 kills.
Okay, so normally if a game is considered clean, you probably have like 16 kills on one team and maybe 2 or 3 on the other. So I don't really know about the word clean. Of course, Rush was the better
clean
team.
Was interchangeable with convincing.
Okay, fair enough.
We talked about how there were definitely some mistakes, shall we say, from both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're about to get ready here. I have confirmed that all players are now ready, so we're gonna hop into the lobby, and the virtual draft is also about to be ready as well. Both teams have all the necessary. Thank you for the follow. All the necessary means to start this one.
Yeah, so what are we waiting on? Waiting on. Actually, no, virtual draft is up, isn't it? I'm done. Just waiting for both teams to ready up there. Do you expect any bans from Rush targeted towards what ELG played in game 1?
Yeah.
Of course, they will be, because they should be afraid of the hacker room right now. I hope that they start respecting the hacker room right now, because not only, like I said before, is it a really strong champion right now, but as you can see, Shady is really, really well on the execution. At the same time, do you want to deny Sona Lux? If you have a hidden counter pick for it, then you probably you don't have to ban it out. But if you're going to play exactly the same thing with Senna Blitzcrank, whilst Senna wants to scale and Blitzcrank has the early game, I wonder how well that synergy goes, since they've just played the lane. So maybe ban that one out as well. Camille doesn't really have to be banned if you are prepared for it. Orianna, maybe in the second rotation, if there's no mid laner drafted yet, you can think about champions like Orianna. I want to say Syndra, but Syndra is like out of meta for a couple of patches right now, since they nerfed her early game.
Keep
Still
continually putting her down.
decent champion. Yeah, it's normal, right, to nerf a champion that's really strong and has like a 90% participation rate in LEC if it's not banned. So
I mean, yeah, I think it feels like every time we get around to this time of year, they do sort of give a little bit of love to Syndra, and she comes to the play rate again. But yeah, obviously not going to be able to see her.
They're trying to do the same thing to Ari right now, but Ari is now more different. I think the champion was bad in a way.
Look, I mean, we've talked a little bit about this before. I don't think the
True.
Ari changes are a buff. I think they are okay. So they've just moved her passive round, put the move speed on her W instead of the passive, and they increased the W cooldown, increased the mana cost, and it feels like they're calling it a buff, but is it really? The only thing I like about it is that now you don't just heal from the Q, you can heal from any skill.
Well, maybe we'll get to see one in this game, because the virtual draft just has started, and therefore we're gonna hop over quickly into that one. So bye-bye the chat for my face, but you're gonna definitely see at least those two faces in just a second again. As already the Lux of the board here, and with Rush Esports now on the first ban in this second game between ELG Sports and Rush Esports. Rush Esports, as you can see by the pointer by the number at the top, already leading the series with 1-0.
Yep, so obviously ELG not really wanting to deal with that Lux Zona again. But Rush deciding their bans for last game worked so far. Let's keep the Shen again, get rid of it. Why change anything if it worked game 1?
Yeah, so right now in the bans, we do see Rush Esports with kind of the same bans leading out. ELG instantly went with the Lux because they don't want to see Sona Lux, which is, of course, okay, sure. You can ban either. I don't know if they really have to respect the Camille that badly from Slayer. Like, he was playing really well. I'd say he was the number 2 player in the last game. But is it enough to force out a ban? I'd say the Hacker Rim is probably better as a ban if you're not going to be priority picking it. Of course, you do have to priority pick on blue side, so you don't have to ban back Hacker Rim if you want to be first picking it. But keep in mind that Hacker Rim is a champion that's been playing an awful amount by Shady, so Shady probably does know the counter matchup when he has to play against it, at least from his solo queue experiences. So is it really that smart to pick the Hacker Rim right now first? If they don't ban the Hacker Rim right now, there's the priority for champions like Caitlyn. Rush Esports last time around banned the Ashe because they didn't want the counter pick if they could, if they were able to priority pick that Caitlyn, but Caitlyn got banned out as the last ban from ELG. So if they are not banning the Ashe this time around, then the real question is going to be: will Rush be banning the Caitlyn, or will they still keep on banning the Ashe?
And I think this is what we're hovering on right now. I think ELG are actually thinking about this themselves. Is do you first pick the Hacker Rim and then play into the match that Shady almost definitely knows, or instead, they've decided get rid of the Caitlyn, keep it. Well,
there can only be one priority pick, and it's going to be Hacker Rim. Rush should be able to read in this fairly easily and ban out the Hecarim right now. But if they don't ban the Ashe, then they don't have the priority on Ashe. Of course, Ashe is one of the main counter picks to Caitlyn, who is out of the question already because she has been banned. You should probably just go with Hecarim this time.
I feel like ELG did put the decision in Rush's hands here. They said, okay, you can ban Hecarim and we'll pick Ashe, or you can ban Ashe and we'll pick Hecarim. I think either way ELG were happy, and it's just about what Rush would rather see. Or what they do is they don't ban either, and they take whichever one ELG don't take. So now is the decision has been thrown back into ELG's hands, and it looks like they don't care with the Lucian Hover.
Okay, so they actually go with the Lucian pick, which is okay-ish. It's a decent flex. He's been played in the top lane, he's been played in the mid lane, he's been played in the bot lane, so you can just flex him all the way around whenever necessary. Also, I'd like to say a decent counter to Ashe, because the main strength of Ashe being a supportive carry, not necessarily a hyper carry, because of course she can dish out a lot of damage with that Hunter's Focus and items like Blade of the Rune King or Man Immune if you're a Man of Culture. But most of Ashe's kit is used as a supportive carry. You have Hawkshot, that's just an insane ability, because it just gives vision over jungle pathing. You'd like to pick it level 2 9 out of 10 times if you don't want to be fighting early. There's a lot of poke coming out from your W. There's your Enchanted Crystal Arrow, that's just a really nice pick-off tool. Lucian, when he gets poked by your W, most of the time people will stay away from you, but Lucian of course has a dash, he has Relentless Pursuit, so he can just get into your face whenever he likes. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. If Ashe starts with the poke, then Lucian can counter-engage. If Lucian starts with the engage, then Ashe can disengage. So it would be okay if that's the matchup, but then again, Lucian can be swapped between top and mid, and we are a little bit further into the draft already. Lilia being picked up by Rush, which I really like because the pick-off potential, like the pick-off potential combination of both Ashe and Lilia is insane. Because Ashe can stun someone with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, then Lilia can just come in, hit 4 people with unability, and then it's like, you all go Sleepy Time now. And Sleepy Time is one of the worst abilities to be caught with. It can be used for single target pick-off, but in team fights, it can be disastrous.
I think
so.
One thing to note as well, we have to remember that Lilting Lullaby from Lilia, her ultimate, it's global. So if she catches that E across the map, she can be top side and be helping bot side. Granted, that's difficult, cross map E's, but I want to see it.
If it happens, of course. Then on the ELG side right now, we see the Pyke being picked up, also kind of a flex pick. You don't see him that often anymore in the solo lane like mid lane, but as a support, he has a really nice early game threat in combination with the Lucian, because this is like an early game destructive lane. Maybe if it's Lucian bot, you would have preferred to see something like a Braum, because Braum of course has the instant synergy with the fact that there's a double tap on the passive from Lucian. Combine that with Braum's Frostbite, and it's just instantly over in that scenario. ELG then comes out with the Echo counter pick to Lilia to increase his early game pressure against a champion that really has to farm until level 9. Not that Lilia is super bad in ganks, but she doesn't really have any form of hard CC on her own. So you really need something like a Lulu and an Ashe with that for the hard CC whenever ganking, and probably want to pick up some of it on mid lane and top lane as well.
Yeah, so I want to actually jump back a little bit to that Pyke pick. That's definitely for some Tiger, honestly, with... Actually, how many games of the season? I did not write it down, but it's his most played this season. So honestly, seeing some Tiger on something that is more comfortable and as we saw last game when he played the Blitzcrank, there were some hooks that we talked about we didn't quite agree with, going some hooks on Shady on the Hecarim, which honestly just helped him out. And yeah, so maybe on the Pyke, getting him on something that he's more comfortable with, and maybe have a better game this game.
Macro sometimes is easier to execute when you're playing on a champion where your micro is also really well, because in this scenario with the Pyke pick, he is on a comfort champion, so I'd say his micro should be on point. We do see some more bans coming out, of course, the classic Gangplank ban that we saw last game coming out from Rush Esports as well, and ELG also answering with their own Aurelia ban, and perhaps going into the Yasuo as the secondary, just like last time as well. What do we miss? Like ELG probably, if this Lucian is going into the bot lane, we still have top lane and mid lane left, and the same thing goes for Rush, unless this Lilia is top lane Lilia, and I don't really like that.
Yeah, I was actually just checking back through our last draft, and Rush having an almost identical draft, of course, instead this time banning the Senna last instead of the Renekton. But yeah, the Lily Flex is there. So did I actually check who plays Lilia on Rush?
Rush is actually counting on the fact that this
Shady
Lucian is
plays
not
it.
going bot.
I
But
don't think
then-
either Sarcasm or Slayer play that Lilia, so I expect that Lilia to be jungle.
If this Lucian is not going bot, where do you think it'd be ending up? Because right now, when I see the synergies with maybe a Pike, are there like any form of mages that can potentially be played on the bot lane when you're flexing your AD into the mid lane that can be played really well with a Pike?
I mean, there's always. I mean, we talked about how Syndra's been nerfed, so I'm not really expecting to see Syndra. My brain jumped to Nico first, and I'm not quite sure why. And I don't think it's something that Highlander even. So I know it's on the wrong side that Malik even plays. But I do think. I don't know. I expect to see the Lucian pop for the moment. But I think ELG are actually leaving this as a flex, and I think maybe they haven't decided quite yet.
Yeah, so Rush now locking in the Akali, also got a decent amount of buffs in the second to last patch, so patch 10.17. She, let's see, but is Yone still not allowed?
No,
No, Yone is blocked in.
Yone did
it's
get
not
locked
allowed.
in,
Next week.
but he has been out for 2 weeks right now, right?
Yeah, but it's allowed next week. We go based off our weeks that our tournament is going on. So this is
Okay,
week
fair
2 or 3. So next week it's going to be live.
Okay, fair enough. So Akali at the very end still locked in for Rush Esports, so Yone will be swapped out for something else. Yasuo is still open, so they still can go
I
for
think-
Yasuo.
I can't remember where I heard. I think there was a bug on the site where Yone and Yasuo.
Yeah, Yone is Yasuo.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. So Yone is Yasuo, then we're just waiting for the last pick on ELG side, and it is going to be the Vladimir. The comp, once again, from ELG doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. At least they do not overcommit on late game scaling right now. I feel like most people or most players are playing on comfort champions, but there's not really a dedicated front line, a dedicated back line. So they really have to play off how well is their micro and can they combine it with decent macro decision making. On the side of Rush, there is a little bit more consistency when it comes to team composition. There's an awful lot of pickoff combined with a hyper carry assassin like Akali that once again has been buffed. Champion is still really strong right now because they changed the damage from her E into AP and they buffed the damage from Tri-Point Strike with a decent amount of damage. So if it is going to be a Pantheon, I once again would say that the game is going in favor of Rush. But then the real question would be if it's Pantheon top or mid. And
Never
it looks
mind,
like
it's
with the
swapped after
buff
Riven.
lock-in, this is top.
Yeah, so actually getting to see Slayer on that Riven, he's got, how many is that? 191 Riven games this season. So I'm expecting some spicy Riven mechanics going out from Slayer. But yeah, I think you said already, ELG's draft here feels a little bit
Yeah. Well, they do have a decent early game when it comes to their bot lane. They have decent scaling with a Yasuo and a Vladimir. Question is, should Echo be playing around top side because it's on the weaker side and get it ahead faster? Because if you get your Vlad or your Yasuo scaling, you should be fine. Do you need to pay more attention to the bot lane so they get their guaranteed lead into the early stages? Are you going to be roaming with Pike? Because I'd say roaming with Yasuo maybe is less likely in this composition. And then on the side of Rush Esports, they should be chilling during the laning phase, not taking too many unnecessary trades, maybe a couple of trades on the top lane because Vladimir can be fairly weak and Riven has a fairly strong early game against those weaker early game champions. And then you just wait for late game or like at least mid game when you want to start fighting over neutral objectives like Dragon Soul, Baron, Elder Dragon. You just start waiting in the enemy jungle, make a couple of pickoffs with the help of Enchanted Crystal Arrow, just looking constantly at the map, for pickoffs that can be made. And if there's a pickoff that can be made, commit, take a neutral objective, and just roll it through.
Okay, so one player had a quick total break, but he is back already. Okay, both teams are about to be ready now, just checking lobby chat. So that means we'll be heading into our beautiful champion selection screen, and that will give us the time to also have a look at Twitch chat real quick, because this means, once again, betting is open. So give it your best. I have seen that 99% of you guys did actually perfectly well on Twitch chat last time when you had a bet, besides me, obviously. And yeah, just give it your guess once again. If you're correct this time, you shall earn some more connectors. But until then, we need somebody to bet on the opposing side, otherwise, obviously, there's no betting to be happening. So ELG Sports versus Rush Esports. Rush Esports here leading 1-0 in this series, meaning they have a comfortable spot. With yet another win, they could, for example, take over this series and just finish it out strongly with a 2-0. However, ELG Sports now a perfect opportunity to tie this series and bring it back to 0.0, where nobody is actually ahead and everything depends on game number 3. So yeah, Ioria and Dermot, who do you think is going to win this one based on composition, and why?
Oh, we've already talked about it, if I'm correct.
Yeah, you're correct, but I want to know your bet, because I'm going to bet accordingly to what you say.
Oh, last time you bet on exactly the opposite that you said.
Yes, last time I wanted to get
He's
some
got to
connectors.
give chat something to win.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got to be the good guy. Honestly, I think this is Rush's game once again.
If they play exactly the same like they did last game, when it comes to their macro being fine, not making too many mistakes, maybe have some really small mistakes that can just happen, they should be able to take this one as well, just based off of composition and last game experiences. Then again, we do see ELG on a composition that's how do we say it properly? Non-meta, maybe unconventional in a way, but if these are comfort champions for them, we are playing on the level of play where you can get away without having a composition, just being really well on your micro, and from there making your lead. So it's not like there's zero chance for ELG, it's just composition-wise, we'd probably say it's Rush. Okay.
I mean, it is important to ELG. Some of them are on comfort champions. We talked about how Slim Tiger is, most played on Pike this season. Vladimir did surprise me a bit in this top lane. I didn't even have Nugan down as a Vladimir player at all. So maybe I've either missed something or comfort's really not the pick that he was looking for there. As for the Echo, they had a sub jungler. Of course, there's no point me looking at my notes there. I forgot to actually have a look at Nevermore's actual stats there. And then the mid lane, Yasuo was Mask's third most played this season. So you got comfort in mid and support. As for everywhere else, I don't really know. It doesn't feel like it's a comfort draft, but maybe we know something, or maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, looking back at ELG's sports draft, we see a Yasuo in the mid lane with just his own knockup. Maybe Pike Q on a single target, but don't think that's what you want to be looking for in their draft. And then on the side of Rush, there's just your classic early game Riven that's kind of known for noob stomping Vladimir players. There's Lilia that scales really well on that level 9, like we talked about before. Akali can be really difficult to deal with as a Yasuo. If they want, Rush can also swap around top and mid, make Riven Slayer play Riven mid against Yasuo, since that matchup is also fairly decent because you don't really have to think about wind wall. As with Akali, the 5-point strike is fairly difficult to hit when there's a wind wall in your face. And then Vlad against Akali should also be a really favorable matchup for Akali. With the early game trades, the long Vladimir doesn't have access to his blood pool yet. And then on bot lane, Lucian and Pike, of course, really want to go for those early game trades against Ashe and Lulu. Ashe, of course, having a decent amount of disengage, and Lulu having a shield, a polymorph, and the slow shouldn't be too vulnerable, but the moment they do get a pick off, then either Lulu or Ashe should go down into either of these champions. So that is kind of the early game condition going for ELG. And then hopefully Yasuo and Vladimir do not have to take their 0-10 power spike to mean anything in this game.
I mean, honestly, if we have as many fights and skirmishes as we did last game, we could be seeing a 0-10 power spike.
I'm just excited about this Lilia pickup and the Riven actually, because those two are something we don't see every day in the TG Diamond League. And I think, yeah, the Riven here, Slayer, he had a perfectly good game on what was on this
the
Camille,
Camille.
yeah. So he did look strong at that one. And I think Riven is not exactly the same style, but definitely also the same style when it comes to waiting out the perfect opportunity to go in. And yeah, if he times it once more perfectly well this game, that means he's going to get yet another edge. And seeing at the lanes he can face, as you already pointed out, Dermot, I think he only has favorable lanes here.
And like, if anything, Riven is not a bad champion. The reason that we don't really see a lot of Riven in play anywhere is because she's one of those OTP reserve champions. Maybe like a Katarina, maybe like a Zed. Like the OTP players are really well in this champion. Of course, Riven has a lot of animation canceling, so it does take a lot of time to be really well with this champion. But looking at some of the academy teams from LEC, for instance, there's Alois on SK Academy right now. He's an old Dutch Benelux player, and he's a Riven OTP. And whenever he's playing on SK Academy, Riven will get banned because he is a Riven OTP. So please do not underestimate this champion. It's just a really reserved champion for those one-trick ponies. And then Lilia, we've already touched on it on the point a little bit. Really strong champion, does need a little bit of scaling, but we've seen her being executed in pro play already in both LCK and LEC. I think the thing with Lilia is that she is really strong right now in those professional forms of play. I think that LS also has touched on the point already, and it wouldn't surprise me if that champion is going to be receiving a nerf in the incoming 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, until then, let me quickly check out what is going on Twitch chat. Everybody's here having a vibe about Riven and Lilia, talking about it, and actually... Yeah, so yeah, touching on the new champion, have you looked into it? Have you seen some plays?
Samira.
Yeah.
You just mean improved Katarina mixed with Talon?
No. I'm hoping that Dante from Devil May Cry. No, just kidding. I'm hoping that Samira is not going to be that complete utter mess that Aphelios was on release. I'm hoping that this champion doesn't need 5 patches of nerfs before it gets either just non-viable, not played, because the champion looks really cool. The mechanics and new systems they implemented look really well thought out, but the real question, such a complicated champion once again with 3 passives, how do you make that 100% balanced? Because right now with a 3-second cooldown on ult, and all you need to do to be able to activate it is reach your combo level S, because it does, it's weird.
It's a bit really weird. I agree, but I don't mind it, actually. I think the champion design itself is interesting for once, and it's not too hard to understand.
Please do not be a failure.
I think if Samira is going to be okay, I think they need to put some maybe time into thinking about maybe reworking Katarina or maybe having a look at Talon as well. Because I think when they've released the numbers, Samira ult, it moves. So it's a Katarina ult that moves and has higher scaling and higher base damage, I think. And so it kind of just makes you think about Katarina a little bit.
Revealed what the ult was going to be. They said that Samira ult was going to be like a mix between Urgot W, Katarina ult, and who else was there in there?
Aaron Spin.
No, well, like she also kind of has the reset mechanic that Katarina has, right? Because the ult only has 3 seconds cooldown. All you need is your combo meter to reach S.
Well, we're loading onto the Rift here. Sorry to interrupt you. As we see both of the teams spawning into the fountain, meaning ELG Sports versus Wash Esports, going off exactly now. 11 seconds in, 12, 13. There we go. A lot of pings coming out here from the blue side. ELG Sports is ready to ramble. And with that being said, let's have a look at what Dermot and Ioria can tell us about this early game.
And both teams already pinging for Rush's red buff. Rush going to be spacing away, but ELG are pathing towards it as a 5-man. We could be seeing more level 1 shenanigans.
Yeah, I was about to say, they really like that early game shenanigans, but we see 2 DCs actually coming out on the side of Rush, and don't know what's happening right there. But
maybe they sit next to each other and they're both disconnected because they're on the same browser. Not browser.
They're on the same browser, watching the same kind of. I mean,
they're literally on the same computer.
Yeah,
one's playing keyboard, one's playing mouse.
One's playing with their feet, and the other one. Oh no, wait, that's how Yumi works.
Yeah. Anyways.
Going back over the keystones, because we haven't really touched upon those things. We see Slayer with the classic Conqueror on Riven, which is just standard. Shady is going with the Dark Harvest. I see a lot of players actually switching to Face Rush on the champion right now because the combination of movement speed you get off your Q with this champion and Face Rush is just insane. It's still decent to go Dark Harvest. You still see a decent amount of people go Dark Harvest because it synergizes really well with your passive. It doesn't force you to go full Glass Cannon because Lilia overall, because she has that set damage on her passive, that's true damage, just a set amount of percentage HP of your enemy. You don't really have to go full AP. You can also just opt to go AP early game, buy Liandry's, then go into full tank. You don't really have to be that main carry. And Sarcasm really likes some sustain against those early game trades with Yasuo, which is, usual, I hope, for the players in chat at the very least. Highlander going with Lethal Tempo, because it's also just what you go, the way to go on Ashe if you want to dish out more DPS with the help of Hunter's Focus. Support on Math is going with the Summon Airy for the classic Enchantress support. Then we see Knugen on the Vladimir with also Face Rush. Fario is playing with the Electrocute. Mars is playing with Conqueror. Malik is playing with Press the Attack. And then the only thing that kind of surprises me, that gives me the feeling that ELG really wants to play for this early game on bot lane, is Slim Tiger going with the Hail of Blades instead of something more like Aftershock or Electrocute that we're used to from the Pyke. Of course, a lot of players will say that Hail of Blades is, on Pyke at the very least, a more consistent form of Electrocute. But then again, I'd say that Aftershock, also with the fact in mind that they don't have a dedicated frontline, might be better in this scenario on bot lane. But they're just locking themselves in for a really squishy but really aggressive early game.
Yeah. In the meantime, whilst we're doing that, we did have a little question mark invade coming out from ELG. It did give them a chance to get a bit of deep vision to scout out where Shady was starting and his pathing. But we did see Rush mirror that immediately, getting some wards on Wraiths and Krugs for ELG. One thing to notice I've just picked up on actually is ELG running with a different jungler this game. So Nevermore will be subbed out for Pharaoh, who I think is actually meant to be their main jungler. I think we had some roster issues before game one.
Back.
He is back indeed. So maybe a more synchronized performance.
I also like to see Highlander with the choice he made, because he started with Cull. And for the people who've been watching Sneaky's videos and seen Doublelift play in the LCS, a lot of ADCs right now, with the HP scaling that's got buffed a couple of patches ago from ADCs, like to go Cull on the lower HP ADCs, because when your enemy starts something like Doran's Blade...
Well, level 2 actually catch on to Sport Math. Exhaust is used, Flash is popping away. He is going to be safer now. Malik's taking a lot of damage, about 150 health. They're going to let him go.
Yeah, that's the threat that a cut down Ashe with Kill can have against players that have more HP.
Slim is not done yet. A nice hook at the Highlander, forcing the flash in the hill. But the flash coming out from Malik will pick up that first blood with that double shot. But now Sport Math has got his E on to Malik. Will pick up that second kill. And now it's just supporters in that 1v1. Actually, Sport Math turning this round, but with the hook coming from Sim Tiger, will hook him into the wave. The shield is not going to be enough. The flash auto attack will finish it off. Sim Tiger picking up that second kill.
The early game that we did expect when it came to the Summoners that we also see coming out from the
Hail of
bot
Blades
lane.
Pyke.
Hail of Blades,
Really abusing that early game. Also to pick up on, we didn't chat about, they did do a lane swap as you predicted, so Slayer has gone mid lane with that Revan, Sarcasm has gone up top with the Akali. So now Windwall only has one job in the lane phase, post 6, and that is to block Windslash.
Yeah, that is correct. Also, looking at what's happening in the rest of the lanes, we see Lilia going for a full clear, and with that said, the risk cuddle should be gone soon, since Pharaoh only went for a quadruple camp clear, is already on there for a while. Ooh,
we'll have to smite it away though.
That's the smite.
Actually,
but
going to turn
Shady.
this around onto Shady, getting that passive block and the electrocute. Loads of damage on Shady, actually forcing him to flash away. Slayer is there. Nice stun to Shady some space to get away there. And of course, Riven being Riven has plenty of dashes to get away. Malik was there. I think he showed in bot lane, didn't quite want the reset just yet, whilst some Tiger reset was started from his.
Malik already took his forced reset and then was
Yeah,
like,
so Malik took the
okay,
reset, but then, of course, when some Tiger
Um,
stood around longer...
took. Not like he had a choice; he died.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah.
I think the main thing for Malik right there was he respawned. He spotted out that his lane was shoving, so there's nothing really for him to do in bot lane. So it's probably better to take a stroll down mid lane, maybe help your team with an assist or anything. Almost worked out, but it was Slayer who already noticed it coming, and then yeah. The rest of it is history. Right now there's a slow push being set up on the side of Rush. So that means that Malik right now can start farming again when the wave is coming his way.
Yeah. So first dragon today, this match is going to be another Infernal. We can see a mirror of dragons. I feel like it's been a trend recently. I don't know about you, but because of the games I've been casting, we just see mirrors of dragons in like games 1, 2, and 3. Anyway, completely mundane point. So they're actually going for a little bit of deep vision, trying to scout out where Pharaoh is in jungle. Not going to spot him, stand out on the Krugs, but is going to get a nice deep ward into the Wraith camp, just to keep him a little bit safer whilst he's in his lane there. But yeah, a much calmer early game than last.
Shady has a better clear, but both Rift Scuttles are in the hands of Pharaoh.
We see highlighter and support math here, respecting now. They've learned the power of Halo Blade's Pike. And now know that, yeah, it's time to back off when Pike says so. Hook not quite going to land. So he's going to use that Shroud to get himself away there without being punished.
You say right now it's Malik's freeze to make to keep the bot lane of Rush Esports busy for now. Slayer is reaching level 6 first and actually managed to get the CS back in the deficit it was at first, because I noticed the Yasuo sitting on 21 while Slayer was still on like 13.
Speaking of mid-lane, Slayer is going to punish that level 6 advantage. Not going to finish off that trade though. Just going to get a nice half health onto Mask while he can. But yeah, we do see Pharaoh is hovering around this dragon, looking to start actually, never mind, mid lane. The wind's actually coming out. The wind was late and flash forced by Mask. Actually gives Slayer the time to roam up, potentially help with this Rift Health Skull.
Oh no, Malik.
Malik forced away. He's choosing to stay actually on about 100 health. Whilst of course Pharaoh and Slim Tiger do finish off that first Infernal streak.
Yeah, really well noticed by the side of ELG Sports to see that there was a deer just randomly wandering inside their jungle on the top side, and they were like, well, if the deer is over there, we have some free priority right now over bot and this dragon. Only thing that they didn't keep in mind is that Matic was going to have to solo lane for a bit, so he got punished really hard by support on Math. Ooh.
It's not quite going to catch him, but sometimes taking a good chunk of damage there. So, second dragon, oh, actually the hook, yeah, not going to catch. So second dragon is going to be a mountain, we're not going to be on a mirror drift. So a little bit of variety coming out this game. So we're either going to be on a cloud or a ocean rift. Which would you prefer if you were either on these teams?
Well, I'm at the same time taking a look at the bot lane poke that's coming out.
A lot of damage into Malik. I don't see ELG being able to go in here. But never mind, we do see Pharaoh is there getting a nice stun onto support on Math, and as squishy as the Lulu is, will not be able to get away there. But now Highlines are turning around, getting a nice bit of damage onto some Tiger. But now Pharaoh caught in the 2v1 as Shady turns up, Highlander forced to flash away, but Shady will be finishing off that kill on Pharaoh, making it a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Sarcasm did get that solo kill on Negan.
Yeah. It's also surprised to me that Shady only was able to pick up 1 kill right there. It was more important for him to save his ADC. Oh,
never mind,
no.
the ult has actually been popped, and Slim Tiger caught asleep, but it is in the Shroud. But Malik flashing forward, getting the passive, the auto, double autos on to Highland, finish off the kill. But now Shady will finish off, finish off Malik, but Slim Tiger turning around with the ultimate will pick up that gold on to Shady.
I kind of felt like that was a miscommunication on the side of Rush. If Highlander would have had ult right there on the Ashe, then that would have been a fine re-engage by Shady. But right now, Ashe still being level 5 probably wasn't the call to be made. I am happy to see Fario finally making his first move on that early game Echo pick, because I think he will get outskilled by Lilia if you just keep farming jungle, because right now you can see that the Lilia jungle clear is better. And Knugen, after losing his first fight there on the top lane, close to running into Slayer, but gets pinged out soon enough to avoid any form of danger. And yeah, Sarcasm is just doing what Akali does best, and it's punish people in the early stages and just become this unstoppable force of an assassin threat. Because, yeah, for some reason, with the buffs of just 10 AP on Q, and your E changing to magic damage, this champion went from like a C, B tier champion back to the S tier that she used to be the first couple of patches after the rework.
Yeah, and we do see in the meantime, we do see ELG picking up that Herald rush with still their bot lane. In bot lane, won't be responding to this at all. We're going to be giving that Herald up, and it is going to be going on Pharaoh. So actually, ELG sending their bot lane duo to mid, actually a huge culling will just take Slayer down. He just took the whole force of it. Couldn't sidestep it with Malik mirroring all his movements.
Yeah, the culling, or how I like to call it, the back massage, because most people will be trying to run away from it, so it will hit them in the back.
Yeah, we're just actually Sarcasm possibly caught in the 1v3. Him 1v4 actually with Malik coming along as well, but Shroud gonna have him going, but the Heal Flag will catch him. Using those dashes and the flash away. With R2, will keep him safe for now. Surviving the 4v1. Just about. Yeah, I like the decision to send Masking Tiesto into this bot lane, so you can just soak up the wave as Highlander and Spawn Math push it through. Use that windmill just to keep the poke away, of course, from the volleys and the...
Oh, looks like we're getting some action on the top lane.
Sarcasm in this top lane, but it's a 2v2 as we do see Shady in the bush. Now, Tiger not going to get caught by that Lilia E. Meanwhile, of course, Herald is shut put in the mid lane by Malik and Pharaoh. With just Slayer there, it can't really defend from this. The tower is aggroed to the Herald, so it's not going to get the tower completely, but it will get enough platings for some nice gold into the side of ELG.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at a 30-second timer on the next dragon, which is going to be a mountain. So if the recalls are going to be made right now, everyone instantly needs to go pathing towards that dragon to at least establish some form of vision.
Yeah, we do see resets coming out from both Slayer and, well, the bot and mid of, so bot and jungle of ELG. Pathing straight towards Dragon. Also been to pick up number 2. As for vision control, we do see that it is almost entirely on side of Rush, but nothing in the pit. It just surrounds bot lane and Shady's jungle. So actually it's looking pretty clear at the moment. Both sides going for vision clear at the same time. Well, there's not really a whole lot to clear in this pit or around this pit.
Oh, Pharaoh. Slayer's looking for a pinch.
Yes, use that shield and stun already, so Pharaoh will get that stun. Will get stunned by Slayer there, and just not damage she's coming out. But a nice ultimate will land some damage on Spot and Math, but just in the 4v1, some Tiger couldn't help him out there. With Pharaoh dead, this is looking like Dragon going to be going over to Rush Esports, unless Malik has something to say here. Sarcasm is in top lane, does have teleport available. Heavy teleport is being channeled, Malik coming out with that culling, but nice, it's from the entire square arrow to interrupt him, forcing that dash away. Now Sarcasm free to walk in that line, knowing that Lucian has no dash there. He got that free kill there, and the free dragon. Well played by Rush Esports.
Really well played by Rush Esports, because that is not where you want to be getting, or like, where you want to be, get caught by the enemy team.
Sarcasm actually in the 3v2, but Mars was slow to respond, and they just pick up a kill on some Tiger there, the 2v1. Yeah, so we're on an Ocean Rift.
Yeah, Pharaoh got caught. You don't really want that to happen when you want to contest Dragon in about 2 seconds, because you're the jungler, and your smite is going to be really important unless there's someone with unsealed spellbook on your team, which is not the case. And yeah, I think the rest of that is just a form of collateral damage after what happened at first. You're just with 3 contesting, there's no teleport available on Knugan, so he has to walk his way there. In the meantime, the enemy top lane teleports.
Actually overstepping a little bit. Malik doing huge damage there, forcing the exhaust, but him second back for the exhaust gets Malik another free auto attack. Support Math flashing forward with the heal, but Slim Tiger with the ultimate will pick him off, and now Support Math under the tower in this 1v2 using that wild growth on himself. It's just now Malik pushing in the way, but the tower shots will actually finish off Slim Tiger there. And now Malik in this 2v1 as Shady is flashing over that wall. Will be getting that TOT onto him, but actually a huge shout out from Pharaoh, keeps Malik alive. And burst Shady out.
This is Not what you'd like to see.
Flashing away from the wind slash as Slayer comes through. But Swapmath actually going for that Q forwards, but it just looks like he's giving his life over to Pharaoh. Slayer looking to trade this back with Pharaoh with ultimate available. Will be out fine. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow will be just slightly stepped by Pharaoh and Malik there in the mid lane.
So welcome to How to Throw a Lead in 2 Seconds 101. This is a class being given by Rush Esports. It's called Being Greedy. We see 3 players going down. No reason at all.
Baited by the pink ward into the 1v3. Has used R1, so it's going to be just waiting for R2 to give him an escape there while Slayer and Shady do path over. But from Zim Tiger lands. But of course, Sarcasm with that E is perfectly fine.
Yeah, and don't forget, there's still the death from below available for Slim Tiger. So it doesn't really matter if he doesn't kill Sarcasm instantly with abilities. He can still share the cut with the rest of his team.
Actually, pulling Sarcasm out of the shroud and the culling. Sarcasm will be dashing away, but a nice ultimate from some Tiger meanwhile in the bottom lane. Mask getting a nice double knock-up on Highlander and support on Math. And that'll be a kill landing onto Highlander, and Swapmath using those shields just to get himself away, but it's not enough as he runs through the tower of ELG.
Yeah, so a 3000k, a 3000 gold lead from Rush going over to a 3000 gold lead for ELG. Yeah. I think all we can blame right now is the greed coming out on the side of Rush, just chasing enemies in blinded territory, places where you don't have vision.
Oh, but the Lilting Lullaby is popped on to Malik, followed up by that Ash Arrow. There is no escape for the sheer amount of CC that Rush put out there.
Kind of the combination where this composition is built on.
ELG looking to trade the Herald for it. They will be picking it up. Pharaoh gonna grab it in time, but Slayer is on the other side. Actually looking like they're gonna let them get away for free with that Herald. Or I say free, they will be trading, of course, Malik for it in the beginning there. So actually looking at the border item pickups, we do actually see, so Bork is finished by Malik, have that PD finished, of course, by Mask. Protobelt gone by Pharaoh after his jungle item. No item finished for Nugan just yet. On the flip side, Sarcasm will be finishing that Gunblade. Only jungle item finished by Shady, so we'll see some large jungle, gold diff between these 2 junglers there. Both Slayer and Highlander will be finishing this Essence Reaver. Oh, actually, never mind. We guys see a 3-1 in this bottom lane. Sarcasm using that Shroud to hide around, dodging the stun from Pharaoh, using the R1 to channel through, getting that damage on some Tiger, but R2 will finish him off. Actually, in the 3v1, Sarcasm will be dying down through that Ignite. And teleport from Slayer, a little bit slow. But it is there. Looks like this player is going to fizzle out a little bit there. Nugan possibly caught on the other side, or is it Highlander caught in the middle of Malik and Nugan here? He get popped by the burst that Malik is putting out here.
Yeah, Rush is getting sloppy and it's showing awful lot. Looks like this dragon is going over to the side of ELG, and with their established dominance right now, you're saying that Pharaoh had like a slight lead over Shady. That was actually not the case. Shady actually had 200 gold more, just that he spent his resource in different items, and there's free boots, of course.
I didn't see the free boots. I was like, he's got a whole Protobelt ahead of him. That's got to be a gold lead, right? But no, Merc Treads are picked up by Shady as well, alongside the
and there's of course
Rhyalized components.
Upgraded Merc Treads on the side of Shady.
Yeah. So actually, Shady's still having about a 50 gold lead. Oh, yeah, about a 50 gold lead, so it's fairly mute the lead there. But yeah, Dragon number 2 going over, or Dragon number 3 going over to ELG. And I think, as you said, it feels like Rush are playing a little bit sloppy. They do split around the bush there with that ward. So not going to get 4-manned in the spot lane. Yeah, back to the lull state, as no objectives are up and available for another, well, minute and 20 on the Baron spawn.
Yeah, Game's still anyone's game. I'd say on the side of Rush, you just have to turn down the pace a little bit, start farming up more. We do see some slight CS advantages on their side, most notably on the top side of the map. So it's not like they've lost this game already just by being caught out of position most of the time. They just want to play around those pickoffs. Like last time, we did see Malik getting picked off by first that Lilia ultimate into the enchanted crystal arrow, and if you can get that to happen multiple times, and Highlander actually doesn't miss position for once, because he's been caught so many times out of position, both in lane and out of lane. The champion has so much potential, but not with his positioning right now. If you can get that on point, you have your Renance, you have your Essence Reaver, maybe you'd say maybe a Trinity Force, because that's the most played build with Essence Reaver. Go for that 40% CDR, only having close to 20 seconds cooldown on that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. But right now we see a play being made on the top side.
Yeah, Slayer in mid-side top lane, but Slayer, some Tiger and Malik here with that culling. Actually, a nice double stun, but some Tiger having his ultimate there available will finish up that kill. Meanwhile, Sarcasm in the bottom lane will actually be just trading heavily, should we say, with Mask. It's looking like they're both going to let each other go for the moment here.
Yeah, both champions, they're actually having the potential to kill one another. Ooh.
Highlander getting caught, but actually managed to dodge the Enchanted Crystal Arrow with that ultimate.
It looks like they want to set up a dive on the top side. Herald also plays down, and that's going to be a 3v4 top
Nugan is
side
there
on
on the
map.
flank. Actually getting a nice bit of damage on the spot and math. Highlander force flash away, but still caught by the Hemo Plague. Shady with nothing left to do except actually does land that Lotus alibi, but Nugan will tank up that tower. Oh, just got by the last E from Shady, will finish him off.
Yeah, Shady hitting a strike right there with the bowling ball.
Some Tiger's not finished, hitting hook after hook. Obviously not leading anywhere that time, but still props to some Tiger there even. Quality hooks these games.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
as you-
game in the hands of this bot lane from CLG. ELG. If only it was CLG.
One ladder away. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit in Champ Select, how we saw last game Slim Tiger on that Blitzcrank just wasn't getting the hooks he needed. And now this game on the Pike, we talked about how, you're also much more comfortable on the champion that's most played in rank this season. And you were saying how, with that micro, he can, think more about what he's doing in his macro. It's coming through this game, the hooks have been on point, and honestly, it feels like Rush are actually kind of struggling to deal with him. And just the setup he provides for the rest of ELG here.
Yeah, yes, we are looking at some of the game state right now. We see Highlander actually getting rid of his skull, waiting for probably a BF to finish. Let's see, how much gold does he have? Oh no, he has 400. What is he waiting for?
He's just finished.
Oh, the null magic. Okay, sure. So he wants a little bit more magic resistance against Echo and Vladimir. I can get behind that, but it's only helping against those two champions. There's still a Yasuo, Lucian, and not to forget the Pike threat on the other side. Dragon going to be spawning in 22.
Getting caught a lot by these Hemo Plagues from Nugan, and of course just Pharaoh being a huge amount of burst right now with that electrocute as well. Just needs that little bit of magic resist just to keep him a little bit healthy.
Chat also pointing out that there is no healing reduction yet against a team with a Vladimir and an Echo, not forgetting that the Yasuo and the Lucian, of course, have lifesteal and items.
Mask actually getting caught out here in this 1v2, and just Slayer and Shady just popping him away, whilst the rest of the ELG are on this dragon. Only 2,000 health left on it, but the Lotus Alibi does come out, just catch Malik. Oh, but it does cleanse, but the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is getting through the pinpoint snipe, but actually the E from Shady will be the strike, as Nugan is finished off there by Sarcasm in the bottom side jungle.
They clean up the fight and they instantly have to do something with it, which is going to be Baron. Don't forget that they're... Yeah, true. They do get a really decent trade there. Pharaoh still does have the Chrono Shift.
And Pharaoh showing this, actually, they're forcing out the Wild Growth from Sport and Math, doing a lot of damage behind it. Actually, nice hook from Slim Tiger will actually not finish off, but the ultimate even will be catching out both Slayer and Highlander. He's now just trying to get back to this tower to keep himself alive, but the third ultimate The shielding from Spot Math will keep Shady alive there, but it means they can't go on that Baron.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Looks like Mask and Pharaoh aren't done here, and a teleport behind by Nugan. It's Rush caught out in the 3v4, and with Shady already gone, Sarcasm caught without his ultimate. Just hiding in that shroud for as long as he can, using that E and Flash to get over the wall, but actually dashing back over. We'll be finishing off Mask there. But Pharaoh will be there to trade that kill 1-for-1. It's now just support Math with Nugan top lane, trying to get that execute, but been getting that damage out already in time. Will not be getting that execute over, and that's some free gold going over to Nugan there.
Yeah, so ELG right there actually takes the dragon, loses a team fight, and for some reason forget that there's still an enemy jungler alive. Pharaoh there buying enough time for the rest of his team to respawn, and there's no respect on those respawn timers. And look at
and
this.
Malik actually going for this pick, going for Malik, but turning it around. A nice ultimate from Highlander will keep Slayer alive. Now Pharaoh's free to walk under this tower, and a huge ultimate coming out from Sun Tiger getting that double kill. And throwing some gold back over to Malik in reparation for his death there.
Slim is so important this game for his team, and he's going so ham, so hard on that champion.
I mean, as we said, had a bit of a rough game this last game, but showing up this game, not quite landing there. Rolling ball not going to connect.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Got another 2.5 minutes for next Dragon Spawn, which with ELG being on Ocean Soul Point, going to be an important fight for Rush to contest. Looking across the important items, we do see, of course, that Infinity Edge finishing off for Mask, so he's obviously hit that 100% crit on Yasuo. 2 items, gotta love it. Nugan finishing off Spellbinder since we last looked at him, and being about 800 gold away from finishing that death cap, so definitely something that Rush needs to look out for. And it looks like the magic resist that Highlander picked up actually going to be upgraded even further, so doesn't really care too much for the armor needed into Mask and Malik and some Tiger. Expecting Pharaoh and Nugan a lot more here. Yeah, of course, in the meantime, actually, Pharaoh actually just clearing. In the bot lane, Mask and Sarcasm having a quick skirmish here. But Sarcasm coming ahead, of course, with that Gunblade and ultimate available. Malik deciding he did not want to go in for that 1v1 up against Sarcasm, even without his ultimate down.
I wonder what they're going to do with this. Finally opening the map with that mid lane tower. There is still a Baron available, but it would be a, let's see, a 4v5. Pharaoh should be in the vicinity if they were to contest.
Nugan getting caught by the bowling ball.
There's no lullaby.
Is available.
Yeah.
Deciding against it.
It is maybe a little bit obnoxious that Vladimir does have that Sanguine Pool available when he gets sleeped.
Yep, so obviously Shady deciding that was not worth it, considering that if the Lullaby was used there, it would not be ready for this final Dragon fight, which of course is Soul Point. Well, ELG are currently at Soul Point, so potential Soul for ELG going here. So opting to keep that cooldown for a potential 3 to 5 man sleep.
So right now, you already talked about it, decision making going over to that dragon, which is actually a surprise to me, because yes, you are on Soul Point, but the fact that you're on Soul Point means that your enemy really wants to contest this dragon. If you're going to start contesting Baron right now, and you take Baron in their trade of dragon, what do they gain? They gain just a singular ocean dragon, and you gain the objective that you need to finish the game. Yes, it is really nice to have this ocean dragon and make a pick-off, but in some scenarios it may be safer to trade it out.
And the Lullaby is going to come out. He does land on some Tiger, so he's going to get himself asleep. But huge damage coming out from Sarcasm will finish him off early on in the fight. Meanwhile, Pharaoh caught in the middle with Sport Matthews and that Wild Growth on himself, getting that 3 for 0 even. And Dragon going over to Rush, denying the Soul Chief. That's Baron being pinged straight away with 5 members up and only 2 even alive from ELG. This is Rush's to take.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about. You probably don't want to take this engage when people can make pickles. The enemy is already stacked up for that dragon. Maybe take Baron instead.
Obviously, Rush deciding they won't both. Showing the power of the Ashe. To melt down Baron. And a nice turnaround for Rush Esports.
Yeah. So now it's actually back again in the hands of Rush to do something with this Baron buff. There are no other objectives on the map, and with their composition you'd say that there's a Riven in the side lane, an Akali in the side lane, and the rest of them are mid. But Highlander is thinking differently. He's using his time with Baron in the jungle, where it practically does nothing for him. I'm just hoping that Sarcasm will now go to a lane, and that they stop farm jungle, because you're wasting precious Baron time.
I thought this is deja vu of last time we casted together.
Yeah.
With, Baron picked up, and it's kind of jungle.
Yeah.
Picking up on the point we made a little bit of time ago, where chat was saying about how there's no healing reduction items, we do see executions calling picked up by both Shady and Highlander now. So there's now some Grievous Wounds into that Vladimir and into that Echo to answer for it. It's a little bit late, but at least it's come out by now.
Better late than never.
So we do see the 0-4-1 coming out from Rush as they can quite easily siege this mid tower. Highlander, when we step inside, Pharaoh's stun there. But still, Pharaoh actually looking forward. The lookout light is going to be used. He's falling asleep, but the Hourglass is used straight away, so Slayer has to back away. Teleport is used by Sarcasm. But it's looking like this is going to fizzle away as the Wind Slash is used as it times out there.
Also, I don't really feel like ELG right now is in the position to make these kind of picks. They really have to respect that if they fight into an enemy Baron wave. Also don't know why Sarcasm didn't go back to his bot wave.
Speaking of engages from ELG, a flash, hero play coming out from Nugan, and there was not a whole lot of follow-up until now. Nice culling coming out will take away Shady, and now Sarcasm caught in the middle of ELG. Finished off and a nice ultimate from Slim Tiger to get that last kill on support on Math. And with just Highlander and Slayer alive, Baron, they are going to be allowed to get away with the rest of ELG pushing towards this mid tower. Highlander deciding this is the time for red buff.
And it looks like we're going to game number 3 at the very least.
It does indeed, as this first inhibitor tower falls. ELG going to be taking this inhib 31 minutes in. They do have 2 Barons up on the side of Rush, so if minions spawn it's a small bonus. But Pharaoh actually TPing back on the wall, but huge damage coming out from Mali, but it's not enough as Highlander turns it around. Now Slayer does have that Wind Slash available. Nugan will be caught out there and getting the double kill on both Pharaoh and Nugan. And
Also,
maybe this isn't game.
Moment of hesitation there in the play from Slayer makes him makes the play end up in a triple kill instead of I actually thought it was going to be a pentakill if he went for the commit. Baron buff also timed out. Highlander didn't die last fight, so that means that he did have the Baron buff for a little bit of time, and
yeah, both him and Slayer did have it, but yeah, timed out.
That Rush right now can potentially take the game back.
Slayer,
I feel like the main mistake in last play for Rush is the fact that they kind of forced their own teleport from Akali, whilst 4v5 was easily doable, even if it meant losing the fight, because Akali with Baron would pressure on bot lane so much that you'd at least take 1 to 2 towers in the time that the rest of your team is fighting. That's what Baron is for in the end. So forcing Akali teleport and forcing a mid lane fight, whilst your enemy team has a 1-3-1/1-4 team split team composition, was the right call to make.
Bush is polymorphed, and yeah. With 4 members of Rush there, not a chance that Nugan had there. And that pick actually 44 seconds on Nugan and only 17 left on this Dragon. Nugan will not be there for Dragon, and this could be Dragon number 3 going for Rush. I think that's a possible 7 Dragon game. Obviously, ELG deciding to shove this wave in early, which does put Rush in this position where they have to have an answer for the super minions. And in fact, not just the super minions, for the entire rest of ELG, 4 members going to this Nexus Towers, leaving Rush in a point where they have to rush down the Dragon and recall straight away. ELG not going to get anything out of that, as Slayer was there to slow them down just a little bit.
Yeah, so now we're like in an awkward state of the game where there are no objectives alive and the teams actually need to think of something to do. On the side of Rush, you'd say you establish some vision in either your own or enemy jungle, look for enemy champions that walk out of position, make a pick-off, and then do something with that. On the side of ELG, you probably want to be looking for the same, but it might be a little bit more difficult since the pick-off tools on your enemy team, the Ashe and the Lilia Lullaby, are a little bit easier to use. Looking at the Pike hook, or like the skewer, the bone skewer, and yeah, Echo W, if you predicted right.
Yeah, we'll see. I've just been looking at items, seeing if we had any big pickups since last had to look around. Obviously, Death Dance now finished by Mask, so gonna be a little bit tougher to kill, and of course the healing Death Dance provides will be always appreciated. Death Cap was finished by Nugan a little while ago, so actually the burst engine from Nugan is definitely something that Rush need to look out for. And actually, Malik has got the last whisper, so it's practically full build now.
Yeah.
So it does feel like, looking at items alone, it kind of feels like ELG have the advantage here, but whilst there's nothing to fight for in this game, we are just in this very...
Either
empty
team
part.
needs to make a pick-off, because right now the game is just still and they're just waiting for objectives to spawn. Of course, Baron just respawned, so that's something they can potentially do, but before they can engage that, they really need a 1 or 2 man advantage. Trying to get some priority here over in the mid lane. Bot lane, the priority is going over to the side of ELG, because if I am correct, that is a slow push for them on the
1, 2,
bot
3.
side.
Yeah, there is more minions for ELG there. So that'll be slow pushing over towards Rush. One thing to note is, depending on how they time this Baron, of course, Rush, their inhibitor will spawn before ELG's. So if they can actually time this and look to force this Baron play whilst they still have supers and ELG don't, this could be really, really good for Rush. We see the Enchant Crystal Arrow will not be connecting. A nice dodge by Pharah there. We'll keep him safe.
It's actually a big cooldown being blown for no real reason at all for Rush. Don't know why Knugan made a rotation towards bot whilst the lane was already slow pushing. All you did right now is make a slow push into a hard push that can be made into a slow push by your opposing team. Not really participating in the team fight that could have been set up on the mid side.
Now caught in this 1v2, but seeing 2 bot lane with the inhib... But actually 1 inhib's only alive, so Rush still going to be getting supers. Just hovering around this Baron. It feels like neither team want to commit. They both are waiting for someone to make a mistake.
And if I were to say that mistake is potentially going to be the bot lane for
Highlight
Rush.
the force to flash away, but Nugan flashing over the wall, catching the Healing going on Sport Math, but a huge knockup from the Slayer. And the ultimate's coming out from Sarcasm will be finishing off Malik. And now without their carry, ELG fall apart. It's the Enchant Crystal Arrow will not connect. Actually, Santiago going for that ultimate, looking to slow down Rush from ending the game here, but Slady with Bouncy Deer will be getting that GA. And just, there we go, finishing off some Tiger there. And this is looking like game 2 will be going to Rush if they can end here.
Yeah, ELG...
20 seconds on the respawn. Just Pharaoh alive. Actually gets a 4-man stun there. This is big. Pharaoh getting the pick onto Highlander there. Slayer low as well. Tower will be picking him off. And now in this 1v3,
Sarcasm.
Pharaoh, huge damage to Sarcasm.
Oh,
And it's
no,
just
Rush,
support
what
on
are you
Math alive
doing?
now. And the game is not over.
Double tower aggro
Pharaoh.
for Lilia, for Lilia, Riven, Sarcasm, Ashe, just all going for double tower aggro, all getting caught into that Echo W. I am kind of flabbergasted by the fact that that was allowed to happen, because ELG already had a lot of ties in hand to finish off this game. Right now they're just getting handed the Dragon Soul for free. And
Yeah, but you
with
see
that,
Malik is
probably the
just
Baron as well.
Taking that Dragon Soul. No contest, it's the only support on Math alive. So the Ocean Soul and going to be a Baron started, and unless support math can get a miracle steal here, it'll be Baron going over to ELG as well. A little bit early with that Q.
Oh,
Ocean Soul and Baron.
there was actually an opportunity to steal. That Baron dropped to 50 HP. But then again, the ability is already being used by support on math.
I can't believe both teams have been so close to ending. Nexus Towers dropping. And 39 minutes in, we're still in this game.
I was waiting for the newest season of Game of Thrones. Didn't really think that it would be this early. Now we're just going to see if Rush can play from behind as well. They do have double executioners, so they have like a small counter to that Ocean Soul. And if they get the team fight once again like they did last time, there should be possibilities. But they just need to find them.
It's all about this very last 5v5 that we're going to be seeing. Rush looking for this death push. There is actually no vision in that side of the jungle for ELG, but also no one from ELG is even remotely close to Rush's 5 stack. I'm going to be abandoning that idea quite quickly.
Yeah, so now mid lane's getting shoved out by Baron minions. There's some people cleaning up some parts of the jungle again.
Tiger, it's absolutely fine.
Just some poke coming out from Shady. Not going to do a lot because the Ocean Soul will make him full HP again fairly quickly.
It feels like ELG just trying to get what they can from this Baron, going for the 1-3-1. Not actually managing to break any towers with it just yet. Inhibitor is alive, no tower to defend it. It was only Pharaoh really there, so we can actually leave them go, let them wave clear.
Now they're just waiting for side lanes to shove. They're playing that classic 1-3-1. Having a Vladimir on one lane and the Yasuo on the other one. To answer this, there's either going to be a teamfight on mid lane, losing an inner tower and limit tower.
The inhibitor. We're down to half health, so Tiger doesn't have the pull anymore. The inhibitor will be falling for the side of Rush. It feels like neither team want to commit to this fight here. They're both.
That would be unlucky because this inner tower is being defended by Sarcasm. So he was slightly overextended.
I get the feeling that despite the lead here, we're going to somehow see this game get stretched out for 3 more minutes, and we're going to have an Elder fight. Hook from some Tiger, not going to connect. But ELG quite happy playing this slow. And I can't believe we're in a pretty lull state of the game now. Where it's just ELG push the waves, Rush clear the waves. Slim Tiger looks for some hooks. Oh, Sarcasm does use that Gunblade, really engaged. Culling is forced. Junkers are actually landing onto Nugan. The Lilting Lullaby just for the Dark Harvest stack. Felt like a bit of miscommunication on the commit there, but actually now Pharaoh now left on his own. And ultimately actually did a little bit damage to Shady, but yeah, in the 4v1, the rest of ELG were not there to support him. And a nice pickup by Rush there.
And the game is still going on. Not really a Baron power play to be made. Yes, they did take the inhib and an inner tower, but most of the time when you have that Baron buff, you probably want to end the game.
They almost broke top inhibitor tower. Emphasis on the word almost.
Yeah, it is the key word in that sentence. Slayer actually picking up the red buff because he feels that Highlander already has a slow on his auto attack, so that should be enough to peel for himself. Sarcasm actually letting himself get hooked on purpose.
And
oh
throwing
no!
himself into the rest of ELG. Now Highlander,
what's that position?
very out of position here. As the rest of ELG, actually the Enchantress are not going to save him. They trade as the 1-for-0, as Nugan does have the Hourglass and of course the pool to keep him alive. And now it's just Shady going to get caught by a knock-up. Slayer actually going for the backline by ELG here and getting the shutdown onto Malik. And now with the Wind Slash still available, doing nice bit of damage there, but is the only one in of Rush inside this 3 stack of ELG. So Tiger mistiming that hook, and that's huge as the stun lands onto Mask there. Windwall going to be denied spot math there as they finish off Slayer. And now it's just Shady trying to use that Lilia bouncy did move speed to get himself away as support math does pop that move speed. but it's not a match for the Pike. Not actually going to get hit by the stun, dodging the hook as well. Just trying to keep that W move speed on himself. Actually could get away here. But no, with that Shroud move speed, it's not going to be enough. That's Sim Tiger does get on top of him.
Game number 3, right?
It should be. Again, emphasis on the word should. Highlander spawning in 7, Sarcasm is alive now. And support math is still actually going away from Sim Tiger here. He's going to get the sidestep, doesn't get the sidestep with the hook. But the shields are enough, but the ultimate will finish him off.
Like, we have a 44-minute game, and instead of ending, we go chase to give ourselves more windows of opportunity
And
to
Elders
throw
in
the
10 seconds.
game.
But with no Lulu for the side of Rush, it's going to make contesting for this Elder that much harder, especially if Shady's going to take this reset here, actually. Be actually Elder started by Pharaoh and Malik. And actually, Rush not really responding to this. It's going to be absolutely melted down. And with Elder and Ocean Soul, surely ELG can close out this game.
I just noticed
Sounds
the
like you don't have-
items from Sarcasm, and I was wondering, what is a Spellbinder
There.
doing in the inventory of an
They're in
account?
the 1v2 here. Actually, 1v3 as Pharaoh shows up. Slayer gonna be popped by that.
But Elder Dragon goes brrr,
Okay.
and that probably closes out the game if they finally do something with it.
We will find out. They are very slowly approaching this base. Shady gonna be going bowling, looking for anything to slow down ELG. But with just the one super minion, it looks like they don't want to approach this Nexus tower. And instead looking to break the bottom inhib tower once this wave comes forward, as they don't really want to step up to this Nexus. And it feels like, even though with Elder in front, actually Sarkasm's going to be engaged here. Doesn't quite connect it. Mixing his damage out a bit, but a huge engage there from Ferry. And Chakras Arrow going to slow him down. Sarcasm running around DLG, but the Elder Dragon is going to finish him off there. It's just Highlander, Spot Math, and Shady alive. Negan will be pulling that. Bottom tower breaking as that inhibitor falls as well. Just in time as that mid inhib is about to respawn. But now Spot Math stepping a little bit too far forward, forced to use that redemption on himself. And 5 members alive from ELG. Only 4 from Rush. And still a huge damage going on to that Nexus tower from Pharaoh. It's open Nexus now, but the Hourglass is popped. Pharaoh will be going down to Shady's DOT there. And the 4v4. Inhibitor second has fallen. Sometimes looking for that hook there on the Highlander. Huge amount of damage coming from Malik. That's Highlander down. And we're just Shady and support Math. That's actually Slayer in this backline, but nice knock up from Master will hold him down as game 2 goes to ELG. 46 minutes.
Are there any gold gatherers in the chat? Because we have a grand total of 174k gold in the bank, even more, 75.1k gold gathered by both teams. And that's what they needed to close out this game. Okay then. That's
That was an experience.
surprising. Yeah. Surprise. Kind of surprising. Not necessary, I think. But it does make us go to game number 3. I must say, I'm actually kind of tired after these games.
You hear me both. My voices.
It's not like the games are super bad or anything, but there are so many mistakes that are made by both ELG and Rush, because Rush had that game. They could have finished the game if it wasn't for the fact that they got greedy, wanted to kill Fario, started diving Nexus towers, got double tower aggro, got demolished by... Like, Rush literally lost this game to Nexus Tower. Not the shopkeeper, because I do think it's kind of iffy to see a Spellbinder on Nakali. Well, the Riven build is kind of the usual, but it's a solo queue champion anyway. I see Highlander with a Wit's End against a champion with mostly AD threats, even though Vladimir and Echo are scary, but it's probably better to buy cooldown reduction instead. Items like Malva Mordius even give you 10% CDR, so you have your Crystal Arrow up more often, and it gives you a shield. It's better than this, I'd say.
Actually, funny thing to point out is Highlander just posting in the discussion chat here on our Discord, discord.me/connecting esports, that yeah, they got actually loss prevented. So I think this is we are back to 1-0 in favor of Rush Esports. Client bugging out.
Prevented.
Anyways, yeah. But
This
yeah,
is,
surprisingly, they actually there was a back and forth in the end there. I mean, I was kind of engaged in chat, but definitely still had a look at the game, and yeah, back and forth, left and right, just making terrible choices here, chasing after people or tower having the echo when you could have just finished, as you said. So yeah, definitely not what you would like to, but nonetheless, this will bring us to a vote for the MVP here. If you have a look at Twitch chat right now, you can see that the Streamlabs has opened a poll. Therefore, you can vote now for yeah, for the winning team's MVP. There we go. I had to think about that one for a second. So in this case, ELG Sports, who do you think deserved the MVP of this game? For me, that would be the hardest choice ever. But yeah, definitely still a good game from both teams. You want to call it that?
Good is probably an
Yeah.
over-exaggeration. Like,
But to quote Twitch, that good is relative. There we go. Anyways. Yeah, moving on, we shall head into a short break. We think the cast is needed, so we'll get a break of 5 minutes, and then we will be right back with you. Enjoy the music, and see you soon.
The best, but I
It started with flowers, now she wants everything. She wants your money, she's inside of your head. Started with flowers, now she wants a wedding ring. She calls you honey from another man's bed. And I don't even know if she's serious. Oh, you don't even know if she's serious. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let her hear you sing. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let her hear you sing. And I don't even know if you're serious. Oh, you don't even know if you're serious. And I don't even know if you're serious. Oh, you don't even know if you're serious. Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me see. Oh, do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Do you feel better now? Let me see. Let me see.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute expectations, they keep weighing me down. My heart is begging me to get the hell out of my head. I'm gonna live inside the upside down for a minute and pretend, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, and if I say it enough, it gets ingrained in my head, and I start to think, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a perfect 10. Whoa, honey, I'm a perfect 10. Honey, I'm a, yeah.
Just saying that my casting is really
Hello.
poor right now.
So Dermot, you might announce it on Steam actually.
Yeah, no, I'm going to take my leave. It's not like the games are super bad or anything, but I'm just feeling really tired, and I just cannot be asked to do another game right now. Like, it's just, I think things are going really poorly for me right now when it comes to casting. I'm really glad that Ayora is here to back me up and fill in the blank space, but I'm just I can't be asked right now. Maybe I'll be hovering in the chat a little bit, watching it, but I'm just gonna take my small break.
Sure, man. Let me check if I can get Phil on last second. Otherwise, we shall conquer this S2IO. Yeah, unless
You
you
can
leave me
do it,
alone as well.
Jason.
Oh, get head Jason cast.
I've seen your
Oh,
arguments
no.
in the chat, so
Yeah,
it's
they're
going
definitely
great.
bulletproof, aren't they? Anyways,
Yeah,
I had fun, but
100%.
yeah. Anyways,
Same.
Yeah, sure. Wait, actually,
Maybe next time I feel better and I can do more for you.
no
guys,
worries.
but for
Thank you for
now,
being here, Dermot.
taking
As
my
always,
leave.
it's a pleasure. So we will gladly have you back in the future. But this also will mean we will lose one of the webcams, sadly.
You can just make a new one.
You can wave goodbye before
Already done.
already done. Okay. Well, with that being said, let's look at game number 3 here in just a second. Let me get everything ready for the teams, and then we shall be heading into that just very shortly. I'll give it another 60 seconds before we are ready here. So you guys in exactly 60 seconds.
Game 2 was
Okay.
just
Hello.
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 Yeah, as it looks like I was looking into some technical issues because a few players can't connect. The servers are a bit buggy apparently. They sent me some screenshots to prove. We're just getting everybody ready for the game. So sorry for the delay, everybody that's been waiting in chat.
That's what happens when they drop psyop skins. Everyone's got to buy them. Got to buy them fast.
True.
I'm gonna buy the Samira one for obvious reason that I can't say in tweets.
Anyways, okay, yeah. Let me just...
Hello.
Hello, Shibi. Yeah, you're gonna jump in for Dermot here, covering a bit of the color casting. And I think you guys had a conversation? So you
We
kind of...
certainly did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm more of a play-by-play person, but I could try.
Let me just take care of something in chat real quick. So the people that actually enjoy this can have an easier time chatting. There we go. Cool. Now that everything is timed out and hopefully they have some moments to think about their comments in chat, we can go back to everybody else in Twitch chat that is enjoying this show and be ready with the game in just a second as we are looking for all the teams and the players to load in, because as we said previously already, we have a few issues here when it comes to the Riot servers. So any delay is this time caused not by the players nor our organization, but actually by Riot itself. So let's have a look at what the lobby is looking like and if it is able to be joined, because it looks like a few people have made it in here. Did you get the code, Ioria? Otherwise I'll drop it.
Yep. I got in and apparently all the players no longer exist. Great.
That is fine, as long as you see the in-game. I don't really care about that, but yeah. True. I like the discussion channels. True. I don't know if you guys see the TG discussion channel on our Discord, but yeah, it's funny as fuck. So, anyways, the memes are strong with this one. See chat wound. True. Big facts. Q. Why disable every Q? Did they? Interesting. Yeah, we're working on it. We're resolving it. I see a few players dropping in left and right, so we are only missing one at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, one player. So we are about to be ready. I'll drop them the links for their beautiful, beautiful virtual draft. And then once that is ready, we shall have our game number 3 between Rush Esports and, of course, ELG Sports here. Both tied in the series 1-1. So looking forward to this one in just a second. Oh yeah, Rush Esports going back to the blue side, obviously, where they have been victorious previously. And ELG has also been victorious on blue side. So definitely in this series, 100% winner share on the blue side.
It's just following with tradition that we're seeing in LEC right now, where it's just blue side wins, unless you're Schalke.
So, let me drop them the links in that channel.
Oh no, you didn't just do that. You
What?
didn't just say that. No,
Oh.
just LEC. Okay.
There we go. Hope that's I think so. Yeah, that's
Is that for virtual draft? Yeah. Cool. So, did you actually get to catch much of the last game, Ashibi?
I caught most of it. Yeah, it was. I was watching for like the entirety of the game. Yeah. So.
Because so me and Darren were talking about this a little bit after the game, where it kind of felt like the game could have finished 20 minutes before it really did.
I was watching it. It felt like a huge clown fiesta in my end. Like I was like, they can just end. Like I don't know what's happening the entire game. They're just playing like, it's like they're playing volleyball and they're just like passing the ball to like
Just
in
like,
my
yeah.
screen. Like I don't know. It
Honestly.
was pretty random. But
Because,
yeah.
I mean, of course, no disrespect to either of these teams. We have just had a very interesting first 2 games. Of course, game 1 we felt was a bit
No
how
disrespect.
should I say it? I mean, no, of course, no disrespect every single player we've seen today is definitely a much better player than I am.
Definitely, yeah. For me, yes, definitely. Like I'm super bad at this game. Okay,
Yeah, we've seen lots of skirmishes and I don't want to say fiesta, but skirmishes all around the map game 1, and then game 2 it was just like nobody wanted to end. In fact, I think it was either both open nexuses or just on one tower each. Well, of course, one actually exploded, but like
I was just waiting for that. I was just waiting for that, that special Drake fight that always happens. Or no, there, but
and yeah, for that soul fight, we were expecting something huge, and all it was just Malik just walking over there and soloing it. It was very anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was very anticlimactic.
But
Yeah,
you
honestly, from
yeah, sorry, no, go ahead. I was just taking off this counter because it's stuck at 0. Because obviously we're just waiting.
Yeah, just based off game 1 and game 2, all I want to see from these teams in game 3 is just a clean game.
Yeah.
Just either, no 30-minute ARAM. How long was it actually? Yeah, 23-minute ARAM.
Like, like, me too. Like, that's what I was about to say when you asked me. Like, I noticed that ARAM happened for, like, what felt like a neon on my screen. I don't know what was happening. Like, it was like I was like, okay, someone is eventually gonna do something. Like, there's gonna be an Asaro or something. Like, there's something needs to break this era. I'm getting literally annoyed. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah. It was interesting to watch though. It was pretty interesting.
Okay. I think we got them ready to draft at least.
Awesome. Yeah, we're actually in draft. And of course, Shen being our first ban into ELG. Rush really don't want to see the Shen. They banned it game 1, they banned it game 2, and once again in game 3, they don't care that Shen got nerfed. Shen is off the table.
Actually, quite interesting. Sen got banned in the last game as well, yesterday.
Yeah, so obviously people not wanting to see him too much.
Yeah, so he's definitely gonna get banned. The luck's getting taken away as well.
Not gonna see the luck sooner again for Rush Esports like we did in game 1.
Oh, wait, wrong virtual draft. 1 second, I posted the wrong link. They cannot see what's going on.
So second ban, first ban even for ELG was a Lux. For those who cannot see it in Twitch chat, we were just saying how no Lux sooner. We're at least I'm a little bit sad about that. I've been quite enjoying seeing Lux zone lanes. Not playing into them, just, casting and spectating.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cannon getting banned.
Yeah, so Cannon, as we chat about every game with Cannon banned again, Rush is sticking to their bans. They know what they don't want to deal with. And, Nugan, the most played champion is Cannon this season, so they don't want to deal with him. I can't blame them.
Getting hovered. I mean, Caitlyn is always getting banned. It's nothing new, to be honest.
I'm surprised to see the Caitlyn ban come through second from ELG. I'd have expected them to, because they've got last ban, so they can see what Rush want to do and whether they actually need to get rid of this Caitlyn. But I think this puts them in a space where they don't want Rush to have either Ashe or Caitlyn. So if they ban Caitlyn this round, it doesn't matter what Rush ban this time, and they can ban Ashe if they don't want to see that.
Yeah, I think they're gonna ban Nas, pretty sure. They're gonna ban both Caitlyn and Nas. So
see if they ban Ashe, they leave open a lot of really, potent picks we've seen today. I mean, Shady's game 1, Hecarim, it's a huge power pick B. I mean, I wouldn't expect to see it coming on first rotation, but of course that's still left open. And if we're looking at game 2 as well, actually, the Akali was, solid from Sarcasm. I was actually surprised by the earlier performance from Shady as well. So it feels like ELG have left a lot of things open by choosing to prio this Caitlyn ban, and now leaving themselves saying, do we ban Ashe or do Rush Esports pick Ashe?
Oh, the Camille.
Camille instead, saying, Shady, you're still respecting that game 1 performance on Camille. And Rush, no surprises there, Hecarim.
They could be they could just want to have us on their team. That's why they're not prioritizing it. Or they can just leave it for phase 2, I guess. So
I think maybe leaving the Ashe open there was expecting Rush to pick it up. I think ELG had something in mind that they wanted to pick into the Ashe.
Mhm.
But with
The-
Russians, they're going for the Hecarim pick. I think maybe this has thrown ELG slightly.
Yeah, I think they want to try something as well. That's another option. They could just want to do something into the ass, I guess.
Yep. We do see Graves locked in for Pharaoh. 234 games on it this season. Definitely a comfort pick for him. Although last game he was, really forced to be reckoned with for that Echo.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I
he can
noticed.
Put out the same kind of performance on that Graves. Pharaoh is definitely somebody to look out for there.
We could see a Yumi in neither teams, by the way. Like,
Yumi
I
is
think
okay.
I'm sensing it. I think I'm sensing a Yumi right here.
She hasn't been picked or banned in any game so far. I say I'd like to see a Yumi. No one likes to see a Yumi. But I think it would be interesting to switch up how ELG have been playing this bot lane. I think ELG's bot lane, they showed, game one, they had the Blitz center, and we talked about that, how it felt. Like, those are just very different things that each bot laner wanted. But game two with the aggressive bot laner with the Pike and the Lucian, it worked out really well for them. So I'd be surprised to see ELG pick the Yumi.
They're actually hovering Riven again, interestingly enough.
Could be another Riven game for Slayer. To be fair, he did. I mean, okay.
He did pretty good. I mean, yeah, he did fine, I think, personally.
I think so. If we're looking on a level of micro, yeah, I think pretty much the whole side from ELG and Rush both played solid last game. I think the issues came when it came to the macro. So yeah, Riven being locked in for Slayer. It's obviously looking obviously happy with that matchup into the GP.
Orianna is pretty strong with Hecarim combined, I think. The 2v2 is really good, especially in team fight with Hecarim.
And with that Onslaught of Shadows mixed with a Shockwave. A dangerous combo, actually. But not looking at it just yet. I think like Rush, in the first two drafts, we saw Rush very confident with all these. Every ban, every lock-in was confident. They knew exactly what they wanted. And as we got to game 3, I feel like they've slowed things down, actually started to think, about what ELG are picking. Are they happy with this? What really do they want? They're not going for like a premeditated comp. They're actually being adaptive, should I say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just see the Ori locked in. And the resident sleepers in chat already.
I mean, we could see the Azir into Ori. No, I'm joking. I mean, it's always there. It's always been there.
I mean, yeah, definitely. We do know Marks is the second most played champion this season in ranked is Azir, so it's definitely a possible pick for him. Hovering the Victor. I hate Victor. That's a personal thing. But
I mean,
I don't mind Victor here.
I don't mind either, but there's definitely something else that can be picked other than Victor.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you hovered Corki, I think you called it the Azir. I think with the Corki hover, I was thinking that they can't because they need some sort of magic damage to come out from this draft.
Would have been way sleeper to see Corks here, so better, I guess.
So into our second rotation of bans, is there anything you're expecting to see from either side here? Whether it be based on the previous games or...
I think as I said before, they might be leaving the ass for the phase 2, but I'm not sure. I mean, they could either ban... what could they take away? I'm thinking right now.
Because it's all left to bot lane, isn't it? So in game 1, we saw Rush with their Soda Lux. We know that's off the table with the Lux ban.
Yeah.
ELG had their Senna Blitzcrank. We talked about how we didn't like that combo together. ELG taking away the Leona first. So I think ELG have something in mind here. Yeah, as for game 2, we had the really aggressive bot lane from ELG, and it worked out super, super well for them with that Lucian and Pike. And the Ashley loot for Rush, it was rough. I'll give them that. It was rough. But instead, Rush deciding they don't want to see the Ashe, banning it away from not only ELG, but from themselves as well.
Yeah, I mean, the phase 2 Ashe ban, I was calling it from the start, so I was like, okay, this is gonna either get taken away or banned on phase 2. So, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised to see a Senna picked up, probably by Rush here. Just looking at the way that the rest of this draft has gone along, and of course with both Ashe and Caitlyn being out, we're onto our next tier down of AD carries that are good right now in this patch. Of course, Senna being one of them. But Senna actually going to be banned away.
Yeah,
it's like it.
They could ban Ezreal as well. I mean, they could, but I'm not saying they will. I mean, it's possible.
I mean, as you said at the start is Jam Select. You expected a Yuumi.
Yeah.
Ezreal Yuumi is available. Zumi's combo.
I mean, that's what I want. That's the thing. I want to see that Ezreal Yuumi. Please give me. Like,
but is the Pike going to be denied from ELG? That's definitely a respect ban for some Tiger there. Huge last game on that Pike.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so ELG, I'd expect to have them leave their counter pick for support, but with a very slow draft again.
Yeah, very slow draft, exactly. I mean, I'm expecting something. I mean, the way that their comp is looking right now is that, ELZ, I mean, they're just looking to play safe early, except for the Graves, I guess. I mean, the Graves could try something easy like in the jungle with against Hecarim. He pretty much wins on full grid, so.
Yeah, Hecarim does definitely struggle a little bit early, but yeah, Graves is definitely looking to hard farm as much as he can. The Xayah hover for ELG, as we expected this to be an AD carry pick, leaving their support till last. I quite like Xayah as a safe AD carry pick. You do have that ultimate, which, that can get you out of a shockwave, that can get you out of the onslaught of shadows. It can dodge the wind slash from Riven.
Ezreal.
Put us onto the Ezreal.
It's happening. It's happening.
And with the Kai'Sa Nautilus actually locked in for Rush.
Give me the Yuumi. Come on. Come on. Please.
Go on, ELG. You know she wants it. Get that Yuumi locked in.
I know.
We'll see the Zoomies bot lane.
Oh my god, if it's not Yuumi, I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, it's Yuumi! Yes!
Hovering from the start hovering. You called it from the start of Champ Select.
Oh my god, it's the Yuumi. It's happening again.
I'm waiting for them to be baiting you here. They're like, yeah, she wants Yuumi. Just wait for the last second and switch it away.
Please. Oh my god.
But no, the Yuumi will be locked in. You got your Ezreal Yuumi. You got your Zumi combo.
Zoomy. Oh my god, it's happening. The last game that happened was like, it was so fun to like commentate over it. It was like Ezreal Yuumi. Oh my god, my favorite. Okay, anyways,
have you seen ELG pick the Ezreal Yuumi before? I haven't actually seen ELG play before today.
I've not seen them lock it in. I've seen the teams on before, like 2 days ago, picked it again. It was pretty. They went pretty ahead on it. It was pretty interesting to watch. But in terms of comps, what do you think? Like its comp?
I mean, if I'm gonna say what I like overall more, I have to give it to Rush. I mean, once again, I felt like every draft we've done, I've been like, yeah, I like Rush's draft. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know Shady's had huge performance on the Hecarim. Slayer already showing us knows his way around the Riven. And it just feels like a much better, front to back teamfight comp. Flipping to the side of ELG, I feel like a lot rests on their power to pick. Because they lack... So with the Yuumi support and with your Graves and your GP are basically the front line you have, and neither are too amazing for, being a sole front line. So I feel like in just straight front to back team fight, this is Rush's.
Yeah, I definitely think that ELG's comp is definitely has a lot of disengage with the Azir ult and the Gangplank ult as well as the Yuumi ult coming in as well. And definitely the Ras definitely has, that engage with Kaisa, with the Nautilus ult, with the Onslaught of Shadows, on the Orianna Shockwave, all those fancy combos, whatever you call them. So team fighting is definitely Ras's here, personally.
Actually, let's point that made out in chat that it was ELG's just relying for zoning on their front line.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's technically possible. You have the Yuumi, who's got the most speed buffs, does have the final chapter roots as well. Ezreal, of course, having the Arcane Shift, giving him decent mobility. You got the Truma Shuffle, and I think the last time we've seen Nazir in this league, the walls were huge. And honestly, no pressure to Marks here, Masculine here on the Azir, but if the walls could be game changing for them.
Yeah, but I feel like but achieving that against their team is pretty hard if they're not already on that sweet spot where they're either ahead or either the same goal as the enemy team, because they have if you take account into the enemy team, they have clear ways of not allowing that to happen. So for example, they can engage first, and their engage is pretty strong. But yeah, definitely.
So, overall, who do you give this to? I'm sided with Rush here. Ali.
I think I'll give it to Rush, to be honest, as well. I don't want to be boring, but they have that. They have that Riven in, and Riven is one of my champions. I have to give it to their team. I'm sorry.
I love the Riven one trick. All the more pressure, or say, power to ELG even. As my voice dies a little bit, to come back and take this as a 2-1 split. As I have some water for my poor voice.
Yeah, your voice is, after those games, I'm not surprised, to be honest.
3 hours of skirmishes and skirmishes and skirmishes.
Yep. It must be a pain.
So, as we're going into our spectator delay here, how do you want each team to play this out? So if we talk about, let's say, our first 15 minutes, how do you want to see Rush play this first 15 minutes of the game?
I think that definitely Riven Gangplank personally, because I have played that a fair amount, because Riven is in my top 3. Definitely, I think Riven can win it, but I think it's a sleeper lane if Gangplank knows how to play the laning phase. So I don't really expect a kill there, except if there's jungle presence, of course, that also plays into account in that matchup. Because Riven has a lot of CC, so Hecarim has easy access on that lane because he can only orange the W or whatever. So Orianna's here also very safe. Both of those champions. I'm definitely expecting a 2v2 to happen early, because if you look at all of these picks, no one can really kill each other by their own. It needs they both need jungle presence, so I think Ras is gonna focus on the 2v2s early. I think that's what I'm expecting personally. So yeah, that's basically it. And from the side of ELG, they're pretty much an early game comp that's looking to play safe, so that is looking to farm. So yeah, that's basically it. How about you? What do you think?
For me, I know it's not going to happen because everyone that's seen game 1 and 2 knows this is not going to happen. But I want to see Rush just not play the early game and just look for pick and pick and pick. Because I think in this first, 15 or so minutes where, Hecarim's not quite online, depending on the build path that Sarcasm goes from that Orianna, really depends how much that he can perform in that 2v2. Riven is Riven. It's going to be definitely relevant in those first 15 minutes just because, her item paths are fairly accessible, And with someone such as there who knows where I'm Riven, I expect it should be relevant in those first 15 minutes. As for the bot lane, I expect it to be fairly uneventful just because of the Ezreal Yuumi. Once Support Math does get that ultimate online, it does mean that he can technically ult them both, because of course with the Yuumi on top of the Ezreal, all he has to do is target the Ezreal, so his ult will land on both. So I expect to see, if anything, Shady maybe looking around the bot side to get Highlander ahead here.
Yeah, exactly. Ezreal Yuumi in laning phase is just looking to poke and play safely, so it's a poke bot lane. So into Kai'Sa Nautilus early game, definitely nothing is gonna happen. But I think when Nautilus gets ultimate, they're in danger. Like both of them, because Nautilus can just ult them and CC lock them, and then you have that synergy with Kai'Sa passive, so they literally just die if they don't play it safe. So yeah, but yeah, most definitely. It's looking pretty safe early for both comps. So yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think my client's broken because I've still got waiting spectator delay on
No,
Zero
we're
for a
all
very long
waiting
time
right
now. Okay, we're having a bit of a good old league client being league client.
I am completely outside of the lobby. I don't know about you guys.
We're just waiting for
Outside
spectator
the
delay,
lobby?
it says. About it.
Yeah, I think one matchup I did want to touch up on is this mid lane matchup with the Orianna and the Azir. I mean, myself personally, I hate playing this matchup as Orianna. I think that, once Azir hits 6, with, any interference in that lane, one Truma shuffle into that Emperor's Divide, if he throws you the right way, there's not a whole lot Sarcasm can really do. You can shockwave to slow them down, and that's it. He's got flash. And without the flash, the Emperor's Divide cooldown is much lower than that. Pharaoh can just keep going round. I think Pharaoh honestly wants to play this to mid and top, try and get Nugan's front as far ahead on that GP as possible, to be that constant sidewave pressure, and of course have that teamfight presence with the cannon barrage, and then make sure that Mask is just as much of a front as he can be on that Azir and shut Sarcasm out of this game.
Yeah, okay. Honestly, Orianna versus Azir is mostly on Azir's flavor, but it depends on how Orianna manipulates the lane alongside with her jungler. It also depends on that, because Orianna can manipulate the lane in a way where it's favorable for her if she knows how to do it. So it's also a player thing. It's also player difference, and I don't know how it's gonna play out yet. I need to see it in my own and how she plays lane. So
whether we're going to see it played out at all is something coming to my mind now, as we're still waiting for the spectator delay stuck on 0 seconds.
I'm personally outside of the champion screen. I'm not even on the champion select. I got kicked out. I don't know what happened. It's pretty interesting, whatever happened.
In the meantime, I'll direct both the ladies here to look at Twitch chat. I think somebody wants to play an ARAM with you. I don't know who, but yeah.
An ARAM?
Just got this information from somebody in DM, so I'm just directing the attention to it. So we have something else to cover than the 0-0.
I'm looking over at Twitch chat.
I actually need to find the message still. Where is it?
Lots of games have been now by the looks of chat. So I don't actually know if this game has started or whether Rush and ELG are having the same issue that we are.
Well, as long as they play, I'm happy, but I can check on them in Discord real quick and check if they are actually in the game or not. Give me 1 second.
ARAMs with the casters, yo, bring it on. Who needs game
They're actually
3
7 minutes
when we
in
can
game.
have 7 minutes in?
So that means we
I
are
think
not getting in.
I think if I play ARAM right now with the way I am, I'm gonna die from like heart failure. So I don't know. If I can't get to witness Israel Yumi, then what's my life for? Like, what is this? Okay, I mean,
Yeah, they picked it for you. They didn't pick it for you, but you know, you got yours with UV pick and now you don't
This
even get to see it.
this is just a disappointment, to be honest. I don't have anything to say. I don't.
Wait, who asked
And
you
to add
to?
on to the disappointment, we won't even be able to start that ARAM. How to
Like,
ruin the
we
day.
can't even, like, it's, my day is ruined. Like, I don't know.
A man can dream. A man can dream indeed.
I'm not sure.
I mean,
Anyways,
if we get to see it though, it's gonna be amazing. And I'm telling you, like,
I'm not
gonna
sure if I have
pretty cool.
shady. I know I have one of the people added in the league. Maybe we can spectate through that, but I'm not 100% sure. The one that came in game 2 or 3. Well, Shibi, just say hi. I think they're talking to you. I'm not sure. Okay, she's lagging.
Hi.
Very good. This one or Ioria?
Hello.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, I'm lagging.
Just slightly. It's okay.
Just for that bit there, yeah.
Oh crap! I have 200 ms. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just disable. Don't look at my Discord, Steve. It's full HD. So don't do that.
Oh yikes!
Just,
What is happening? Well, this is quite an unfortunate turn of events.
Huh, I can't even quit spectating, by the way. It's not letting me
Nope,
click
I
there.
can't either.
I'm just stuck in the screen, I guess. Thanks, League. And I'm scared to log out.
If you log out, you're not going to be able to get back in, most likely.
Well, I'm gonna ask to do something. Actually, we can't do that because then there's no delay. That's fuck. I wanted to join one of the voice chats and just they stream through Discord, but I think that would cause an
I
issue.
think about 5 minutes.
Yeah, boys. I think that's it. Don't know.
Looks like
Yeah,
no
Shady is
gameplay.
playing. I'm aware that they're playing. I can see them on Discord. They are right now 11 minutes in, but we have no intel whatsoever. Maybe on OPGG we can see. Not OPGG.
Yeah, execute.
On,
Give us some live
yeah,
casting from chat.
yeah, execute to the
this
man
is,
here.
No pressure.
This is a disappointment, and my day is ruined right now. Okay, I mean,
It's a shame, especially as we're on a 1-1 as well.
oh my
Missing out on the deciding
God, dude.
game.
I just like I pressured them
Another-
so bad to play Ezreal Yumi for me, and now I can't even see it. Like, what is?
Sorry, I'm just moving chat a bit. Yeah, so yeah, I think this is on. Want to join EL? Well, Shibi, you just got your first offer to join a league team. There we go. Have fun.
What did I do?
You existed. I think that is enough on the internet. Sorry, if
Wait.
you're female and exist on the internet, that's enough. There we go. We started trying a queue 3 times and no time did we get past 8 seconds.
ELV? What? Wait, what is ELV? Tweet sound?
Yeah, I don't know what
Hello?
that is. Maybe you can explain. Lucy the Goose female. Jesus Christ.
If I can join your team, don't worry. I'll play girl support just for you. I'll play Nami. I don't know what to play. I don't play support. Ha ha ha. Okay.
The only issue I have is I have to pay out the bet, or I can cancel the bet. But I am very. Why can we not even quit spectate? Like I can't do anything. We can't even go anywhere.
Nope, we're all stuck here.
Well, we can maybe imagine how the game will go. Let me just check on the players real quick. Pick our spot. You can join. Well, fake snakes that will cost you. Was that change? Don't forget. Caster versus chat ARAM. I would be down, but we can't get out of the spectator client right now.
Yeah, because apparently we're stuck in spectate. Apparently if we log out, it's going to take us another, I think it's like 5 to 10 minutes to log in. I can't see what that message is going on.
Can you try?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Because you can watch to
I'll
my
log
Discord
out.
still if it works, you know? And if it works for you, it could also work for me, so. Gonna have to quit client
I'm restarting
campaigns.
client. Cast an imaginary game, yes.
Are we doing that right now?
Kinda, yeah.
Ooh, best name Kappa getting kicked from the lineup feels Pepega.
Don't worry, I can use my mental abilities to predict how the game is gonna go. It's fine.
Let me. I don't even want to join their voice chat because that's super int. I don't want to distract them whatsoever. But they're 13 minutes in right now.
Wait, they're 30 minutes in.
13. Yeah,
13.
yeah, 13. So
Okay, I
not
was
30.
like,
you
I
didn't
was
sit there
like
for half an hour
freaking
already.
out.
Wait, I predicted it went for Nautilus phase rush. For those who remember.
Wait, Nautilus phase Ras?
No, we don't know it. That was just a prediction.
But last time they picked Nautilus and they went phase Ras though, and I
Yeah.
was casting that game.
But that was Wife Beaters United. They are not to be taken serious.
What do you mean? WB are the most serious team in this league.
Oh yeah, sorry, I
no one can
forgot.
tell me otherwise.
They're actually pro level. Like they're smurfing
I
from
don't know.
LCK.
I've seen. I don't know. I've seen that game, and I don't think they're very serious. Okay.
Alright, I've just logged in, so we're gonna see if.
Wait,
can
you
actually
managed to log
get
in?
into game. I mean, yeah, actually, I didn't really think about that. Yeah, I managed to log in. There was no. Oh no, there we go. There's the key.
Wait, did you get back in?
I'm gonna wait because it did that thing where it like started to load up and then the client disappeared. Oh, okay, I've got a reconnect button. Let's try that.
Okay, I'm not
I
logging
got back
out.
into the game. Like, is that what you mean?
Into the client.
Wait, how?
I've just clicked
Wait,
reconnect to see
how?
if it lets me get to the
I'm gonna try.
Based on how
Yes.
am I gonna cast? Am I gonna look at your stream or
Yes.
like what is going
You
to
will
happen?
have to look at my stream, but for now I'm trying to get us back into the game. Just give me a second.
This is progress.
The score is 5-1 to ELG. Thank you, Executive, for keeping us up with the score. You can tell us more about it.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm in load screen. This is progress. I can confirm it was not Phase Rush Nautilus.
Unlucky. Wait, you're in the
Oh
loading
my
screen?
Back on. You have in the load screen.
Oh my god, we're gonna get back in here.
So yeah, restarting
After
client
we
works. It gives you the reconnect to
Yeah,
lobby
but the only issue is gonna be we're gonna join right in the middle of the game. So should we start from the beginning or not?
You can't rewind whilst it's a live game. Because we had this
You
Cascade
can
game
pause though,
with
and you can go back.
you can't. So once you load into a live game, you can't rewind it back to the beginning.
Okay. Okay, boys, I think
Can
we're
we watch
making
Netflix
progress
instead?
here.
We can't watch Netflix, but with the new Twitch update, we can watch Amazon Prime.
Yeah, we're making progress, boys.
Oh my!
Okay, Prime, thank you. If you have a Prime sub available, don't feel any
Yeah, you have.
way. Oh,
Did you know with
we
the
are
Prime
back.
sub, you can get a free subscription to your favorite streamer?
Okay, we are into the game actually. Let me stream it on Discord. There we go. And
Yeah.
let me enable.
Oh,
Okay,
you
boys,
got
with
it,
a
okay.
bit of delay, we actually made it into the game. Let me just
Yeah.
set up everything.
What
And
is
there
your
we go.
timestamp?
We are at 10:23.
Oh, okay.
So 1-5 in favor of ELG Sports, actually. As we can have a look around and across the board, we can see that Graves had a big impact, apparently, because he's leading with 3-1. Meanwhile, Ezreal also 1-0-1. And in the bottom lane, it looks like Nautilus and Kaiser have died in lane twice, one death each. And only the mid lane is going even so far in CS, as well as in kill-death ratio. And seeing Shady not on his hottest horse today, with the 0-2 in the jungle, and also the Riven
Yeah.
struggling a bit against the gameplay.
Yep, so I've managed to sync myself up with you on the time now. But yeah, Shady having a definitely a not quite as dominant performance as he did in game 1. Obviously, we don't know if there was any level 1 shenanigans to change that up. As for things that have gone down on the map, Cloud Drake, number 1, has gone over to Rush Esports. Herald doesn't look like it went or has been even taken yet. No, it's spawning. Yeah, actually, it doesn't look like it was. Oh no, there we go. It is on Shady. I'm blind.
Actually,
Good pass there.
The Voice Season 1. Yikes. Anyways, I'll have a quick look at individual
Well-
goals, and then you can go on. So individual gold, we can see this huge lead in the top lane and in the jungle. So this top side half of the map is definitely favored towards ELG Sports, as well as in the bottom lane, the AD carry role. So this is definitely very good for their lineup. Also them getting the first Drake under their name, because the other Drake went indeed to Rush Esports, that being the first Drake of the game, the Wind Drake. And now we have the Mountains Rise, meaning a Mountain Drake soul yet. Again, as we had last time when we streamed.
Honestly, I like Mountain Soul for Rush here. It just makes, it makes that Nautilus harder to kill. It makes the Hecarim harder to kill. And speaking of Hecarim, Shady is in this top, in this tri-bush. Malik, the legend over Pharaoh. He's going to catch him out there, already doing half Shady's health. Now Highlander, a little bit caught out there. Taking a decent amount of damage. Actually, the hook landing, but Arcane Shift being Arcane Shift. Malik is fine.
I mean, honestly, I don't really know how the game went early, so I can't fully judge, but I see the Ezreal Yumi doing well, so that's something. And also, their jungler is doing really good. I mean, on to Hecarim, I'm kind of surprised that he's that ahead. I don't know what happened. But, yeah. I mean, definitely the threat there on the 2v2. I mean, they're winning if the Graves is there. He definitely has the edge over the Hecarim, so...
And, I know, I'm going to say, I think, and watch me get roasted in chat for this, because it happens every time we say this, but I think the later game does go to the side of Russia. The Shockwave not going to connect on masks there. Just using that Shimmer Shuffle to get himself out there. But yeah, I think the longer this game goes, the better this is for Rush.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely, as we said before on the Tam Select, their team fighting is gonna be really good. I mean, compared to ELG, where their main objective is to cut someone, poke, play safe in general, disengage. ELG definitely, not ELG, Ras definitely has that all in for the team fight, with the Shockwave combined with the Raven and the Onslaught of Shadows. So
yeah, the Shockwaves, as long as Sarcasm does land them, are gonna be huge this game.
I mean,
actually, the hook landing on to Malik, and with Shady there to support, ramming him to a wall, and now the Sim Tiger is just left on his own in this 1v3. The Cannon Barrage is there to try and catch out support on that, but it's not enough, as that second kill is donated over to Highlander there.
Yeah, most definitely. Very big cats from there right there.
They're actually going to go straight on to Pharaoh here. Sarcasm with a nice shockwave to pull Pharaoh back in, but actually having to flash away Slayer. It's finished anyway. Now Sarcasm in this 1v2 is going to be flashing away, but flash follow with Sarcasm. But actually losing the trades, actually with that last dissonance, will finish off Nugan. That Q from Nugan was huge. We question whether Sarcasm was going to be able to come back from that, but Pharaoh going to be face on with support of Math there. And with the Onslaught of Shadows, Shady will be there to pick up that 600 shutdown gold.
I think that's actually... I think that's actually enough to keep him in line with Graves in terms of, like, if something does happen, like a Dragon fight, which I think is going to happen because it's really important for their team. So... the junglers being like the same, almost the same. The Hecarim hasn't completed Trinity Force yet, so that's something.
He's got all his Trinity Force components, but only with 100 gold in his event will not be able to finish that quite yet. But we do have a minute 15 on the Dragon, so I do expect him to have to finish that Trinity Force before the Dragon starts. Other notable item pickups for Rush, the Seraphs. It's built, but it's not fully stacked for Sarcasm, currently sitting on 700 out of 750 stacks, so I expect that to be fully stacked for the next Dragon fight. Highlander, of course, going with that Muramana build, only 288 stacks, so that will not be fully stacked by the time we get to this next Dragon fight. Flipping over to the side of ELG, of course, Triforce finished by Nugan. Support Math, going to be getting away fine there, actually. Finish Black Cleaver for Pharaoh, of course, the Nash's Tooth there for Masks. And, of course, same builds with the Muramana for Malik, but much better charged at 546 already.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I think that Kaisa is definitely gonna hurt with full mana immune, especially if she stacks it before the fight, which I don't think is gonna happen because it's like 500, so...
Yeah, I
It's
think the big finish
not gonna
that
be
just
there
came
on the
through
front side.
is that Sarcasm did just finish stacking his tier, but Pharaoh in the bot lane with this gank Highlander will be using that ult to get away from the Yumi route, but the Sportmath hooking to the tower. Pharaoh now has to go under the tower, but a nice stop porch from Sportmath will not quite keep him alive, but a nice shockwave will pull Tiger away from connecting back to Pharaoh, but a TP from Mars does have the Emperor's Divide available. Shady actually going back in with Slayer here as well. Let's get that third Q and we'll finish off Malik here. Now it's just Mask here with his 3 Sand Soldiers, but a nice stun from Slayer and a ram from Hecarim will finish him off as well. And with Mountain Drake alive and only 2 members from ELG alive, but Pharaoh actually still need to respect that is a Graves will ignite. There's a lot of damage that can come out there. But also, in the meantime, Nugan in the top lane.
Yeah, I was
Taking that
about
tier
to
2
comment
tower.
on that. Yeah, I think in ELG have opened up with Emperor's Divide on the gates. He will have got 2 people on it.
So being picked off by that key return from Pharaoh, and actually picks up Shady as well, and it's just Slayer alive to finish this dragon. Sliver Tiger is there, but as the Yumi actually was Slayer with a 400 health, may be able to actually force Slayer to die to this dragon. 20 health, but Slayer will secure this dragon, but send a kill over to Slim Tiger's way.
That was a nice turn of events. I mean, the dragon is gone, but you know, we gotta see the Yumi solo kill.
So I think every dragon that Rush can secure at this point in the game is good for Rush. Because we talked about how, I mean, at least I think their comp is better when it comes to late. Twitch chat, please don't roast me. So every dragon they can secure here puts ELG 5 minutes further away from Soul. And we're going to be going to dragon number 4, and by the dragon number 4 coming around, it's we're going to Rush are going to be hitting these item spikes and getting to the point where actually I would just, I would rate them much better in team fight than ELG.
Not to mention the Earth Drakes are definitely very good for the side of Ras. For the Nautilus as well, really good. The shield is definitely there, so if they do secure that, it's gonna be really good for their team comp.
Yeah.
That was a really good trade by their Gangplank on the Riven.
Yeah, having some trouble in the bottom lane there. Slayer just into this GP matchup. But yeah, hitting this stalemate in the game. We are seeing Baron spawning in 34 seconds. I don't expect either team to go for a sneaky 20-minute Baron, but actually Shady, huge damage going on to Masks. Using the Emperor's Divide to force him away under the tower. He's used his passive to summon himself up another tower to get him safe. Pharaoh will be there to protect him. Also did see the cannon barrage coming from Nugan as well. But Nugan just side lane, shredding towers, left, right, and center. Actually, hook landing, actually onto Maliki. Exhaust coming out, nice knock up as well. Maliki's now talking to get himself away. Highland taking a lot of damage here. Oh, but actually popping that ultimate to get back over. The Yumi heal will put Malik a lot higher. Now Highland with 100 health. Teleport coming in from Nugan, but it's looking like that's going to be a teleport to get himself away from both Slayer and Shady in that bottom side jungle, rather than to support Malik and some Tiger.
Drusa Baraz is not available there, unfortunately, for the Kaisa, so...
True Shot Barrage, it does come out. It's not going to do anything too much there. So Herald is going to, actually looks like he's going to time out in the bottom lane. And so Slayer is hopefully going to shove out that wave, see what he can get out of that. Nugan is in the area. No cannon barrage available, so we'll have a little bit, tiny bit slower on the wave here if you want to use that. Actually, not hitting the Herald there and not getting the auto attack. So the Herald does get the charge, takes down that first alpha tower in the bottom lane for ELG.
What's your opinion on something? Do you think, because I saw it on Twitch just now, do you think that Comet Azir might have been better into Orianna instead of Blades?
So, with the matchup as it is, yes. So Azir with Comet into Orianna, he can just summon Sand Soldiers, go for that auto poke or the Q poke, and then back away. But I prefer the Blades pick for, you know, outside of the lane phase.
Most definitely, yeah.
I feel like Hail of Blades does give him that potential to, you know, find a pick onto Sarcasm or Highlander and actually have that like, speedy damage output to actually catch him out. Actually, see Pharaoh. He's never shady. He's gonna spill out though. But yeah, I like the Hail of Blades whilst we're not in the lane phase. And I think this game was never going to be over during lane phase. I think, you know...
Yeah,
I suppose the comment could be nice if you actually... Oh, never mind. But you see the Cannon Barrage using the bottom lane, but support on map and missing the terrain with that Q, so Nugan and Malik are just going to be able to take him down there. Oh, but actually Highlander ulting behind. Malik taking a lot of damage, and Highlander left on his own. We do see the rest of Rush are coming up on the flank. A teleport used by Slayer as well. So now in the 5v2, ELG, Nugan and Malik, actually the Onslaught of Shadows, will be picking out Malik, and we do see the TP coming in from Masks, but the TP is actually not going to hit him a whole lot, as the rest of the Rush will be finishing off Nugan, and Masks is just left to run for his life, really. In the meantime,
I mean, the TP didn't really do anything there, so...
I liked the TP from Slayer.
Yeah.
I didn't like it from Nugan. I feel like it needed to either come earlier or just accept that this was a fight you can't really influence any much more than your Cannon Barrage. Actually, with all this cooldowns gone, Dragon has just spawned, so there's no Cannon Barrage. There is the ultimate from Graves available, Empress Divide is available. Actually, all ultimates on ELG except that Cannon Barrage. But with the speed that Rush have taken this Dragon down, they can't contest. The True Shot Barrage doesn't even get there in time. And that puts Rush's soul point.
They have the Kaisa, so definitely objectives are easily taken when Kaisa can just, you know, do max health damage. Well, I think she does amazing, my bad actually. But yeah, it's definitely there, the objective control with Kaisa. So yeah, pretty good Dragon take. As I said, Earthquake, really good for their team, again. So yeah.
Always taking that Dragon win you can. Now, so I've just seen, and I'm glad that they're doing it this game. So I think it was game 2 we had the Vladimir and the Echo? I think so. And it took so long for, you know, Grievous Wounds to be picked up. But we see Sarcasm already item 2, finish Morellonomicon, respecting the fact that this is a Yuumi. Grievous Wounds need to come out as early as possible, so yeah. It's something we can at least pick up on this time, instead of taking half an hour to remember it like last game. But yeah, we have sort of just entered this lull state of the game where, you know, it's clearing waves, clearing jungle camps, just trying to get as much gold as possible. We do see Rush are positioning towards this Baron, looking most likely just to clear out the vision as they can, but actually the Cannon Barrage, I didn't actually catch where that was used.
Yeah, me neither. I saw the animation, I don't know where it went.
Might have been used on that Baron pit to scout out where Highlander was, but I didn't really see anywhere else that it could have been as I was panning my camera around.
I mean, seeing as nobody took damage in the mid lane, I don't think it was used there either.
But yeah, so 25-minute mark. We do see Rush actually have this Dragon lead. As we said, you know, the later this game goes, the better it is for them. But ELG still about 4,000 gold ahead. How do you want to see either of these teams play the next, you know, 5-10 minutes of this game? As it's going to be actually crucial as we see. Ask actually where you find that. Yeah, the next 5-10 minutes of the game, I feel could be the decider. Again, some
yeah, I mean,
Azir game too.
Azir is gonna get scarier and scarier as the game goes on. So, and as we said, like, the Emperor's Divide is definitely very scary for their team. So, let's see how Azir is gonna scale. I'm pretty sure he's gonna reach the point, at least 4 items in this game from what I'm saying, so...
Think we're going to be in the game that long? Actually, no. We will still game 2. You're probably going to be in the game that long.
I mean, I don't know. I saw last game. I'm just predicting, okay? Like...
Yeah, I mean, definitely possible. I don't... Because I think, you know, being 1 dragon away from Soul, I think this is definitely Rush's... Despite being, you know, a little bit goal behind right now, well, 4K, not a little bit. I think, honestly, for where the state of the game is right now, I feel like it's Rush's game to take. Items actually have been finished. We do see that Death Dance finished as well for Slayer. You know, Triforce was finished Shady quite a while back. He was going for that Death Dance as well. So to stack up those resistances, obviously resistances are going to be amplified with each Mountain Drake they take, so they could be triple Mountain Drake, pardon me, sorry. Not much picked up on the resistance side of Sarcasm. We did pick up on that Morello's fight as well. Looking towards the Leandries next. How do you feel about that, actually, the Leandries? Because I've seen chat talking about Leandries a little bit here.
I mean, it's Leandris is an item that does like a lot of damage in general, but I think he should have went for like other magic pen items. I don't think Leandris is needed here personally.
No, actually, in the meantime, we do see
I don't
Baron
know.
is being chunked down by Rush Esports. And without even a response from ELG, they didn't have vision. They didn't have vision of the pit there. I don't think they were quite
Yeah.
expecting the speedy dragon coming out from Rush. And now with Baron available, Baron taking even 30 seconds to the next dragon, they can easily Baron up these waves, get a good push in. Actually, Arrow, looking for that 1v3 there. Yeah, Baron up these waves, get it pushing all three so they can get the prio and they can clear out pit, get vision control, and look to secure this soul. Actually, TP being used by Nugan on that GP, so they're actually looking to burst down this dragon as soon as it spawns. But with everyone there on Rush, looks like we're gonna have a.
Yeah, I mean their jungler is ahead one level, so there's no real threat on this fight. So they could just rush
Actually,
it
yeah,
right now.
Dragon is started by ELG, but Shady is charging up that move speed. Look for that pick. True Shot Barrage going to be used, actually chunking Shady down to half health. In the meantime, we do see Sarcasm and Slayer coming in the spot side, but a huge ultimate and shockwave coming out from Shady and Sarcasm, and now ELG are falling apart as Ferry stuck in the back of the pit with Shady just using the rest of his team and the Dragon to block those shots. And a triple kill for Highlander secures the Mountain Soul and a 5-0 trade. ELG getting aced, and with Baron buff, let's see what Rush can do.
Yeah, I mean definitely a very huge onslaught right there. That's and the shockwave from there, really good from them. So it's still the team fight basically.
You got
they cool.
15 seconds on Malik, 15 on Mark as well. So target's 20 and 5, that's the mid inhib falling 29 minutes in. They're not going to push to the end here. They're going to accept. They're going to take that win, get the Mountain Soul, get that inhib, and look for the reset here. So with that last fight, that does finish the Leandries for Sarcasm. I believe that is the finished. I didn't catch what Highlander was building. So yeah, got interrupted there. Bork is finished for Malik on the other side, and it does look like Mask is going for that Leandries as well. Still only the one source of Grievous Wounds from Rush Esports.
I don't know about that one. It's I was thinking
It
about
puts a lot of
how
pressure on Sarcasm.
yeah, like I think Ravens will get it. Like she'll get it anti what is it called, healing, sorry. As well as Kaisa, because I don't think Orianna can be the only one who can apply anti-healing in the team fight. So
It does look like Slayer's going for that GA in the meantime instead. But yeah, I mean, the shockwave in that last fight was huge. Props to Sarcasm there. But if, Sarcasm was the one that got picked off before, they have nothing to stop Slim Tiger on that Yumi just being heal Bob. Actually, Highlight dodging forward, Mask going to be getting away there. So he's going to be forced to take that reset whilst these Baron minions start working down that tower. They're going to be meeting face on face with Support Map and Shady. So the Cannon Barrage coming out, actually huge damage going to Sarcasm, forcing that Seraph shield. It's actually going to be a waste safe.
as well from it, yeah.
In the meantime, of course, Slayer has been pushing that bot lane. Doesn't have Baron anymore, that has timed out, so the push is a little bit slower. Actually, Highlander landing this so into Malik. Shady is going to be arcane shifted away, so they won't be getting that pick there. But does it sour is going to be going over to Rush.
Those Kaisa W's are really hurting, those Void Seekers.
True Shot Barrage isn't going to catch on Shady, which is the target he was looking for. Terra actually being able to step forward, but decent damage coming out from Sarcasm will push him back. Actually, this one in the bottom lane, it's about as slow as I was expecting from a Riven into a GP at this point in the game. And that'll be the Azir tap forming in the mid lane too. Okay. No, we're not gonna, I was gonna say we're in the lost state, but Slayer has other plans. We're using that wall hop, but Pharaoh is on the other side. It's gonna use up last gun, but takes Nugan with him. Using those dashes One damage from those barrels,
Barrel
but a
connect.
nice stopwatch to stop the collateral damage from Pharaoh.
Yeah.
And now with the rest of Russia being here, just contesting Pharaoh for his own jungle camps.
I mean, now I'm just waiting for the soul to be. Oh wait, they got the soul.
Yeah, Soul's
Oh
already
my
been
God,
confirmed.
what
We've got
am I
Elder
saying?
in 2
Okay,
minutes 25, Baron in 1 minute 20,
Oh no. Okay.
and the Cannon Barrage just to slow down the wave, but Rush don't care. Power is going to fall regardless. Item pick up I do want to pick up on even. Do you see Highlander finishing off the Hourglass? And never mind, actually, is Shady going for that onslaught with shadows, but Pharaoh has other ideas, so you have to walk away there. Yeah, as I was saying, the Hourglass is finished by Highlander.
I mean, that's definitely very good into their team because it kind of prevents the Emperor's Divide, as I said. It's really good. Also, the burst from the Graves. Graves is really scary right now. Like, he's looking really scary. So,
I mean, yeah. Obviously, with Pharaoh being ahead in the early game, does have that Black Cleaver, does in fact have the Edge of Night finished as well. Looking to itemize towards that more of Mortius next, but it's still definitely a force we reckon to, especially for some of the squishy members of the team, such as Sarcasm and Highlander. So the extra armor, and as well, that's that Hourglass active to get away from that collateral damage, as we saw support on Math do just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, the Hourglass is a very good item by Kai'Sa, to be honest. It blocks a lot of things from their team, and a lot of things they want to do. I think they are looking to...
They're just getting as much pressure onto ELG here, trying to deny. Meanwhile, 55 seconds for Elder, but Rush is saying, nope, it's Dragon time, we can melt this thing down so fast. True Shot Barrage coming out a little bit early. And with Pharaoh not even passing towards it, it's going to be free Baron even, going over to Rush with still 37 seconds to take a reset and go path towards Elder as our, well, probably deciding fight. If Rush can secure the Elder here. So I'm not sure if ELG can end if they get the Elder, but it's definitely good for them. But if Rush get this Elder, this is game.
Yeah, like Ras, they need to prevent Ras from getting Elder, or else they're just gonna get run over right now. If they have Elder, they're pretty much losing.
But actually they're taking the reset. They've only got 6 seconds left in the spawn, and they're a bit hesitant to leave base. They don't have vision anywhere outside Wolf Camp.
Yeah, it's gonna die instantly.
And Elder Dragon is started by Rush. True Shot Barrage is available. We can see the Miracle Steal for ELG. Is it on 2,000 health, 1,000? Something like that. Elder for Rush, uncontested.
Oh, that's so weird.
I don't hugely mind ELG not contesting this because, so I think ELG accepted that this was not a fight they were going to win. And if they fought that, lost, and then Rush took Elder, they are then 100% not alive to defend it. Whereas, okay, if they say, Rush, you can take Elder, but we've got an Azir, we've still got 2 of our inhibitor towers, we can defend a little bit better and hope that this Elder buff wears off in time, that you're not going to push it like we saw in game 2. Wouldn't be unlike that to happen, but actually Rush being nothing like game 2, pushing this ending, knowing their lead.
Yeah, like,
Waves coming in in. Shockwave actually not going to connect Shady now to his own, but Highlander ulting forward into the back of ELG. Actually, the Amplified knocking both support Math and Slayer outside of the Cannon Barrage, but now Slayer is left alone in the top side against Pharaoh, but does have GA available.
Guardian Angel available.
Will be using that GA to heal himself up, but the rest of Rush are just happy for Slayer to be on his own up there. Going to be taking tower aggro, getting a nice knock-up actually, but not enough damage coming. Actually, Master will be finished off by that Elf Dragon. 2 minutes up, finishing his next with Sarcasm, uses that shield and the Hourglass to just stall out as much time as possible, and the Elder Dragon, but it doesn't matter as the super minions, and I think Highlander there finish
like,
Nexus.
As I said before, if they take that Elder, it's pretty much win for them, so...
And that's a 2-1 for Rush Esports.
It is indeed 2-1 in the end there, finally, one could say, but this was definitely nothing short of a bad game. I think this was the perfect game to three here for this series. Just summing it up in general. Oh, you have been removed from party, thank you. But yeah, basically just summing up this whole series back and forth in the beginning. ELG actually having a strong early game there, which we didn't see most of it because you weren't connected. But in the end, was Esports just stronger overall and making smart decisions over and over again, therefore winning the team fights. And I have to congratulate once again the use of teleport here by Wash Esports, just getting a lot of very good engages as a 5-man by being present with their teleports across map plays, as well as Eddie obviously having his big impact as soon as he reached that state of where he can do so much damage.
I think that the dragon control was a huge thing that game. I talked about it several times again, but yeah, the fact that they could, even in their weaker side of the game, the fact that Rush could keep securing these dragons and get that early soul, it kind of just left ELG with no point to really come back. So yeah, props to Rush.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I
100% win share on blue side, I guess.
Blue side is the place to be.
We got that from LSC. So
Now confirmed in Connecting Esports.
True.
Don't have to reference LEC now because we can say blue side wins side.
There we go.
blue side wins the live.
Oh, I made it into the top 10 today with my betting. There we go, place number 9, back in the top 10. And also Snates, welcome to the top 10 there, as well as Forgan and TG Flatline. I see all of you guys have had some smart bets today. Casters are really good today. Thank you, Arkwell. I already congratulated Dermot on today's cast, seeing it was a very difficult one, game 1 and game 2, as well as Ioria later on after this. And of course, Shibi, who's trying her best here, being on stream for the second time casting, so very new to this whole esports thingy and tournament environment. But she's doing a great thing and a great job. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't do maths, but thanks.
Okay, Ioria likes to solo
Wrapping up
cast.
last minute, already huge props.
There we go. But yeah, so we will definitely give those words to our casters, and we are much appreciating them. DG Flatland, thank you as well to you, my man. Happy to see all of your faces in chat, and well, to read all of your words in chat today. Was a roller coaster, not just in game but also outside in Twitch chat. In the end, I liked it all. It was enjoyable, and no matter the controversy, we got a lot of numbers today. We pulled an average of 55 viewers, I think, and a very active chat, if I may say so, with some valid input left and right, as well as some funny hiccups and some really glorious moments. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, boys. I think we will cut it off here because we have been waiting and sitting here for a very long time. Both casters deserve some rest here. And yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you most definitely tomorrow with Sherlock and Corlex on the job for yet another, not Corlex, sorry, Corlex is playing tomorrow, but Sherlock and Major Cheese tomorrow on the job for yet another stream. So tune in if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you here at CE, and Ioria and Shibi, you can say goodbye.
Yeah, bye guys.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thanks for coming.
That being said, see you tomorrow.
We're better off as strangers. Believe me when I say, loving me is loving danger. Your heart is bound to break. I walk alone in the night, neath the pale moon. Loving's for the fools. Baby, beware of my body. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. 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 I'm a creeping through the shadows in the corners of your mind. with the wind blows. I run but I don't hide. I hear the call of the wild, whispering the name. No, I can't be tamed. My heart belongs to the night. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone.
This one is dedicated to Shu in the Twitch chat. Thank you so much for joining in once again. We will be tuning off now, so yeah, you can hear the start of this song and hear the drop, but that will be it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time.